See mobile news on the level, on the go.
No conflict is worth losing your life. It's going to be a clear and cool day right now. Clear radar in downtown Indianapolis, 30 degrees. Your high today, 54. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 9:02. That's what Indianapolis police are saying after a man was shot and killed on Thursday on the city's west side. The cops say that they've arrested Noah Wood for murdering Kyle Joseph Salee. They say they don't know what caused Wood to pull the trigger. He's facing a preliminary charge of murder. Imagine waking up and your home is full of thick black smoke and it's burning. That's what a family who lives on Indianapolis's near North Side had to contend with early this morning at their home along 30th Street. Fire crews raced to the scene just in time to see the family make it out. Another family that lives next door also had to escape as the fire spread. Everybody is okay. The Red Cross is helping those families find another place to live. One day gas prices go up and the next day they go down. It's a roller coaster. Chris Davis explains why that's happening.
You've seen gas prices shoot up here in the past couple of days. Gas Buddies Patrick DeHaan says that's because of price cycling, which is something that happens routinely in the Midwest. But he says there's another reason, too.
Last time prices cycled, it was to $3.09. This time prices cycling to $3.29, essentially a 20-cent a gallon premium because of the changeover to summer gasoline. Moving forward, we probably will see prices cycle back up to $3.29 once they fall closer to $3.
And he says the tariffs are likely to make prices uncertain in late spring. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indiana Pacers had to go to overtime to beat the Brooklyn Nets, but they did it 105-99. Benedict Mathurin, another big game, 28 points, 16 rebounds, and a 6-year deal is what IU signed its new basketball coach, Darian DeVries. IU athletic director Scott Dolson said it's an investment.
We are looking for, we're hopeful in the process to look for someone that can be really a long-term fit.
And Dolson says DeVries' pedigree and his personality make him a perfect fit in Bloomington. I'm Ryan Hedrick, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. And with traffic this morning, here's Matt Baer.
West Side crash 10th east of Country Club Road and then westbound 465 slow at Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the fives. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
I'll say this. There are no entries in the Hoops Fan Hall of Fame who didn't show up to the game. Yes, you in the back.
Professor, March Madness is coming to Indianapolis. Are we ready?
You prepared to bring the fire? Give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. The NCAA Sweet 16 and Elite 8, March 28th and 30th in Indianapolis. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MVB tickets. Class dismissed.
Partly cloudy skies heading into the afternoon. It will be seasonable and a bit breezy with highs today right around 57. It will fall to 41 overnight tonight under mostly cloudy skies. I'm Wish TV storm tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
Right now it's 30 degrees in the capital city, going up to 54. I'm Ryan Hedrick, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey starts right now.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Casey.
Rob.
We have a new biggest a-hole in all of Indiana politics and government.
Are we going to make somebody famous today?
Oh my gosh, these people, the level of disgusting from these people. And no shame. All out in the open, no shame whatsoever. They have no sense of obligation to you or worry about what you're going to think of them. They just make it as brazen and as blatant as they possibly can. Our new biggest a-hole. I wish we had some sort of dun-da-da-da music, but queued up and ready to go. But dun-da-da-da, our new biggest a-hole in all of Indiana politics and government is Brandon Sackbun, the mayor of Terre Haute.
Oh, no. I feel like we're about to go on a transformative journey.
So if you remember this guy, I think it's pronounced Sackbun, S-A-K-B-U-N. He was, I think, elected in 23 maybe. So in Terre Haute has long, if you were to look up cesspool of corruption and depression and awfulness in the dictionary, there would be a giant picture of the city of Terre Haute for generations.
You are here.
Minus a couple of decent public golf courses, that's about all Terre Haute has left to offer humanity. So Terre Haute had, for years, generations, been run by Democrats. And Duke Bennett somehow managed to crack the code for a couple of election cycles, even though he was surrounded by Democrats, and become a Republican mayor in Terre Haute. And what happened with this guy, Sackbun, is the union said, we ain't doing that anymore because there's some semblance or sense of accountability. And they pressed hard, and it makes sense in a largely Democrat stronghold, that they were able to push this young guy across the finish line. Well, he pops up at that Senate Bill 1 hearing, if you remember, and he's doing the same doom and gloom that our old pal Spendin' Sue Finkham was doing about the doomsday scenario to the public safety, right?
Yeah, he said property tax cuts are likely to impact police and fire salaries.
This seems pretty straightforward, right? So let me actually read to you the quote that was reported in the Indiana Capital Chronicle at the time. All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, here. I stand before you all today humbly asking that this group consider some replacement revenue streams to fully support our local law enforcement and to fully support some of the basic needs. This is a big one. Some of the basic needs of our community. All right, so now, Casey, when you were to think of basic needs of the community, we would think of things like roads, bridges, sidewalks, police, fire, water, sewer. I don't know. There may be something else I'm missing. At any point, when you would think a basic need of a community, would you think $4 million renovation to a swimming pool would be at the top of the basic needs of the community?
No sport. I would not.
So this guy, the mayor of Terre Haute, the Democrat mayor of Terre Haute, he goes to this committee and with a straight face does the same thing that our pal Spendin' Sue did, which is insinuate the doomsday scenario for the law enforcement if you get any sense of property tax relief. And, we said at the time, we said, this guy is absolutely full of it. This is complete crap. This guy is perfect for Terre Haute. He'll just fit right in with the rest of the people that have run the city of Terre Haute over many, many years. And lo and behold, Casey, yesterday, so that was a month ago. That was a month ago, right? The Senate Bill 1 hearing was a month ago that he threatened to cut the public safety if you got property tax relief.
Correct.
Well, my eyes are not as good as they used to be, Casey. So I saw this and I said, well, there must be something amiss here because this guy just a month ago said public safety could be on the chopping block if you get property tax relief. And I'm going to read you. This comes from the official Terre Haute Mayor's Office Facebook account. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The Deming Park Aquatic Center. I've been to Deming Park, by the way. I grew up much of my weekend spent in Terre Haute. The idea that they have aquatic center tickles me to no end. The Deming Park, they call it an aquatic center. The Deming Park Aquatic Center is about to embark on a transformative journey.
There it is.
and each of the 3 proposed designs brings a unique vision that promises to enhance the community's recreational experience, whether through an expansion of amenities or subtle improvements.
Subtle, $4.3 million.
To existing features. The project will breathe new life into the park, ensuring it remains a beloved destination for all ages.
Yeah.
So then you scroll down. I mean, this guy wrote a Dickens novel here about these proposals, and it's either option A, 4.3.
Door number one.
Door number one, they'll spend $4.3 million on the aquatic center. Door number two, they'll spend $4.3 on the aquatic center.
Yes.
Or door number three.
Wait a minute. Door number three introduces a more cost-effective option.
You're thinking like what, like just a cool million?
3.5 million.
3.5 million.
Yes.
So on one hand, no money for public safety if you get property tax relief. On the other hand, at a minimum, 3.5 mil laying around for a swimming pool.
Rob, but Terre Haute has already made cost-cutting city maintenance improvements. And now they want to make more improvements.
Oh, but this is my favorite part. So he starts spelling out how they're going to pay for it. And he's listing these different funds.
Yeah.
And right at the top of the list, Casey, everybody, if you are in an automobile, make sure your hands are firmly on the wheel at 10 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
If you are not in an automobile, you are going to want to make sure you don't have any breakables near you because you are about to lose it. The number one fund that he lists that they're looking at using for the swimming pool?
Yeah.
The American Rescue Plan Act.
Yeah.
The COVID fund.
COVID money.
That drove us all into this unsustainable inflation where you can't afford eggs or milk or rent or clothes. All of this crap that is ruining your existence and forcing you to make hard choices every single day. This is where the money's going.
Yeah.
This was the rescue. Rescue what? The swimming pool in Deming Park?
Yes. Pools save lives, Rob.
The price of everything has doubled so that the swimming pool at Deming Park can have that's the rescue plan? We're rescuing a swimming pool in Deming Park in terrible Haute?
But it's going to focus on inclusivity and fun. It's going to have a beach entry and play equipment to an aqua zipping and water basketball feature. That's in concept number one.
So, Casey, I have a that's the grand plan, right? Okay, so I have a little birdie in Terre Haute, who's a very respected member of the Terre Haute community. I have birdies everywhere. So real quick, I want to get to something though, because this is important. I've been having a little back and forth with the mayor on the social media account, and one of the things my little birdie told me was that Terre Haute, when the Sackbun guy became the mayor, instituted a policy that said in order to get a government construction contract, you have to have an apprenticeship program.
Oh, okay.
Now, Casey, in the modern era, this is not 1837 where there's a cobbler on every corner and, everybody has some young lad like Kevin working under them. Who, Casey, in the modern era has the apprenticeship programs?
Spelled UNIONS.
Well, gosh darn it, Case. That would be right. The unions have the apprenticeship programs.
Yeah.
So unions help this guy get elected. Now, I have asked the mayor repeatedly on social media. Actually, would you like me just to read some of our back and forth? Because I've asked him repeatedly about this. What I was told is that they have this program that he instituted, that you have to have this apprenticeship program to get the government construction contracts. And this is, let's see here. You know how hard it is to find things on Facebook these days. Oh, here's what he said in regards to that. I asked him a very specific question. Like, do you have to have this apprenticeship program?
Right.
Yes or no? The city has a responsible bidders ordinance for larger public projects. This ensures public projects are awarded to the lowest responsible and that's the key word, lowest responsible and responsive bidder. That's the keyword. At any point did he say, well, no, we don't have that.
No.
You're totally out of line. At any point did you hear, no?
No.
And when they don't answer the question,
It's yes.
they're answering the question. So I asked it again and have not heard back from him. By the way, he was up at 4 a.m. this is what, if you're in the city of Terre Haute, if you are a Terre Haute taxpayer, this is what your mayor's doing at 4 a.m. He's getting lippy with an Indianapolis radio guy on Facebook. No wonder that city's in the shape it's in. By the way, Casey, you may be asking yourself, hey, what about that pool? What about that pool in Deming Park? Does it need renovations? This is what my highly respected birdie told me about the current state of the pool in Deming Park. And by the way, this guy is not Democrat, Republican. He's not on either team. He's just telling me he's seen all this and watching with great amusement. He said, best pool in the area that I'm aware of popular enough, but it's definitely not busy constantly. I exercise in that park regularly, and it's barely open during the times you think it would be. Plenty of space, diving boards, clean, accessible, and a good area of the park.
Well, they want to add a new water slide or the enhanced spray ground and addition of the water basketball feature makes the concept an exciting, action-packed option. But I don't know. You might want to consider concept number 3, which is the cost-effective option.
$3.5 million.
At $3.5 million, because that one has cabanas.
Oh, so this is to set the stage, because you might be thinking, well, Rob, it's a public park. What if the pool is drained and looks like something, in a horror movie when people move into the houses in the horror movies? What if he's trying? No, it's not at all. It's very nice. This person is a nonpartisan person, so I have no idea why he's doing this. And then we started chatting, as a couple cackling hens might, and then we started talking about that ordinance that may or may not exist in the city of Terre Haute, that you have to have an apprenticeship program in order to get certain contracts. And then you
responsible and responsive.
Well, gosh, yeah, the responsible and responsive bidding, which the mayor will not answer the question to me on, which is very weird. Okay, so let's recap this and why we led with this. So this guy, the mayor of Terre Haute, gets up in a hearing and tells senators.
He was humbly asking that the group consider some replacement revenue streams.
Because if you get property tax relief, the public safety, the police and fire.
It will likely impact police and fire.
To steal a phrase from the philosopher Pitbull, they're going down. They're yelling timber.
Right.
And then, lo and behold, he finds as much as $4.3 million, because he said, we're not bonding this. We're paying with cash. He's got $4.3 laying around. And it turns out, Casey.
It's COVID money.
Yeah, it's COVID money, which is so wild and wacky. And by the way, if you really wanted to, you could probably use that COVID money to pay police officers. I don't think the federal government would be objecting if you were securing your community with, because it was the American Rescue Plan, right?
Right.
It's in the name. Who rescues people? Police and fire. These people are so full of it. They're utterly ridiculous. And the fact that our lawmakers are bending a knee and being subservient
and
to people like this guy and that those crazy people that were at our rally on Monday over you tells you how much they hate you.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
In the Matt Bear Tournament of Traffic, it's win and go home.
It's taken a lot of work to get here. You just want to advance through the field.
All right, traffic is really backing up on the south.
And to do that, you've got to drive the lanes.
2 vehicle crash blocking the left and center lanes.
You guys know this. You've got to find the openings and take your shots.
Updating your traffic bracket. Mornings and afternoons.
Prepare.
Construction backups brutal. Watch for the zones.
March Matt Bear Traffic Madness is on 93 WIBC.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
It's dent season, the time of year Mother Nature decides to take out her aggression on your vehicle. Don't paint your car, go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. When Mother Nature throws a tantrum and messes up the look of your vehicle, don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe, laugh until your belly aches, cry because you care so much, and experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check Single Care to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Looking for a great deal on a new Lincoln? Come to Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, now $15,000 off, and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. We look forward to seeing you at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 57,785. Offers good through March 31st, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Emma and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Alert, Casey.
Alert!
We have an alert.
Yes.
We have an alert.
What's going on?
You think this show isn't the most powerful media entity in the entire state? As we were on the air, Casey.
Talking about
alert.
the Deming Park Aquatic Center.
Yes, we were on the air. So if you missed the last segment, we were laying out how the mayor of Terre Haute, who shamelessly went in front of the Senate Bill 1 committee and said, we're going to have to cut public safety if you get property tax relief, then found as much as $4.3 million in cash, by the way.
Yeah.
No bonds, in cash,
Yeah.
laying around to fund the Deming Park Aquatic Center expansion. As we were on the air, alert, for immediate release, Casey. I'm reading this, immediate release, Friday, March 21st, 2025, from Press Secretary Courtney Bell. Thursday, March 27th, State Representative Tanya Plaff, D. Terre Haute, and Mayor Brandon Sackbun, D. Terre Haute, will be holding a joint town hall.
Oh, okay.
This is an excellent opportunity for constituents to hear about the work being done in the community at the State House
Oh.
and the mayor's office.
Okay.
So we do this. He wakes up at 4 a.m. and starts fighting with me. And by 9 a.m., 9:20, literally as we are on the air, here comes the press release. I'm going to tell all you people how the Indianapolis radio guy is wrong. Hey, Brandon. And they always do that. I love the back and forth that I had with this guy because it was just simply, once again, it's the call me.
Yeah, he said, call me.
Let's see, you know how jumbled Facebook can get, Casey.
Let's take this offline, Rob.
Let's see if I can find this real quick. Here we go. So he sent me this long thing because I went on the actual post. I had reposted, then I actually went on there. And then he decided to get lippy with me at 4 in. He put, and this is the same thing we went through with these lawmakers, right? The call me.
Yeah.
They're like, who was the chick who did the Call Me Maybe song?
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Carly Rae Jepsen, yes. Brandon Ray Jepsen, that's his name. The mayor of Terre Haute, henceforth shall be known as Brandon Ray Jepsen. You're more than welcome to call me sometime to read off your laundry list of complaints and grievances. Lastly, consider coming to Terre Haute.
Oh.
Why are you always bashing us? I'd be happy to do a show recorded right here in the 812 about all of our progress the last few years. My grievances are pretty clear. You're lying about cutting public safety if people get property tax relief. The grievance is pretty clear. I don't need to call you. I don't need to record a show with you. You said everything you were going to say. I heard it all. I had to sit here and listen to it. I know what your position is. And you know what? I come over to Terre Haute once a year to see my deceased grandparents. That's it. Period. I don't want to be anywhere near that place. It sucks. As they say in Caddyshack, sucks.
Property tax cuts are likely to impact police and fire salaries, yet magically, we have between $3.5 and $4.3 million for a pool.
And look, I have great affinity for the people of and the city of Terre Haute. I was not raised in the city of Terre Haute, but essentially spent basically every other weekend with my grandparents, who were Terre Haute lifers, in the city of Terre Haute. My father grew up in the city of Terre Haute. My parents went to Indiana State together in Terre Haute. I want Terre Haute to be excellent, but just because I have fond memories of people there. I'm smart enough to look around at what's going on. I heard the stories that I was told by people who have been there for generations. I know what that city is. I know how it operates. And just because I personally have fond memories of things that took place there, I'm not going to let some guy get up and lie his ass off in front of a Senate committee saying things that when he's got $4.3 million laying around for a swimming pool, that he's going to try to fearmonger people into saying police or fire could be on the chopping block. I'm not going to do that.
The interesting thing about the post was you've got concept 1, 2, and 3, and he asked for people to vote on their favorite, right? And then he says the Parks Board and full-time staff
Right.
will review these designs in depth and provide feedback on them. It's important to balance costs and the user experience in projects like this.
All right, we got so much else to get to. We're done with this for now. I just wanted to, I think my point has been proven that these are the guys that the lawmakers are listening to rather than you. And that is it shows what their opinion of you actually is. It's another example of what these people can do or say anything, and then they never get held to any account, and you ask for property tax relief, and it is though you have asked for an arm to be extracted from these people and given to you.
Okay, so Donald Trump was busy yesterday. Eric Holcomb has a new job.
Oh, this job for Holcomb is bad news, Casey.
Secretary of State Diego Morales' brother.
Speaking of bad news, lots of bad news, but we'll make it entertaining.
It's all on the way from 93 WIBC.
What a day.
You're working too hard.
We're both working too hard with even less to show for it.
What's this?
It's the bills for Tracy's procedure.
This is outrageous.
I know. And Mom just said her prescriptions went up again.
How can working people afford this?
These medical bills are crushing our finances, and these hospitals and insurance groups are making record profits.
You know, I read Indiana has the 9th highest healthcare costs in the nation, and prescription drug costs are out of control.
That's why I voted for Mike Braun. He has a plan to reform Indiana's broken healthcare system. Braun's plan calls for billing transparency, increased access, and lower costs for all Hoosiers.
I hear you. It's good to know help is on the way. Mike Braun's plan will offer real relief for our family budget.
Sign the petition for Braun's healthcare plan at HoosierHope.org. Join Mike Braun's fight for healthcare reform today. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty may have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will I get the price I need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure it out by yourself. There's a friendly, no-pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate, my friend Mark Dietl. Perhaps you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Crystal in Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietl. I was moving to Kentucky and needed to move fast. I got the Mark Dietl marketing plan and was blown away. The plan worked. I got a full list price offer in the first weekend. Just like that, Mark and his team got it done. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
Discover Barkeep Vodka, the cleanest and smoothest vodka thanks to its unique compression filtering by Indy-based True Essence.
Top shelf quality and value, and you're supporting local Indiana farms. Grab a bottle at any Indiana store or visit barkeepvodka.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why some flights are delayed or canceled. Nothing on radar in downtown Indianapolis. It's 31 degrees. Your high today is 54. I'm Ryan Hedrick for Window Nation. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Flights from Thailand to Bangkok are canceled after an electrical issue has forced London's Heathrow Airport to close.
Even U.S. flights from New York's JFK on both Delta and American Airlines had to be canceled. One Singapore Airlines plane flying to London was forced to land in Frankfurt, Germany. Heathrow is one of the world's busiest airports, with more than 6 million passengers in January alone this year.
That's Fox's Eben Brown reporting. Happening right now, 9 locations in Indianapolis are being raided by the DEA and FBI. We're expecting to hear more soon. A tornado was confirmed from Wednesday night storm in Bartholomew County, says Andrew White, a forecaster at the National Weather Service, Indianapolis.
So they found evidence of EF2 tornado with a peak wind of about 112 miles an hour.
And he says the twister damaged mostly farm buildings and trees, but also twisted and bent some electrical transmission towers. Now, your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, taking a look at the markets. And all 3 major indices are down this morning, as the NASDAQ at 17,544, the S&P at 5617, and the Dow Jones at 41,530. I'm Ryan Hedrick, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Feeling the aches and pains of everyday life slowing you down? Introducing Blue Emu, America's #1 emu oil formula for pain relief. In a recent clinical trial, 91% of users saw improvement after using Blue Emu. Whether you're working hard, playing harder, or just staying active, Blue Emu penetrates deep to relieve joint and muscle pain fast. And best of all, you won't stink. Join the 91% who felt the difference. Find Blue Emu at your local retailer or online. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink.
Hamer and Nigel here for Window Nation. Winters are long here in the area, and if you're tired of seeing and feeling that winter weather coming in past your old windows like I was, you need Window Nation. Their high-quality, energy-efficient windows will get rid of those drafts to keep your costly heat inside, lower your monthly utility bills, and keep your home comfortable year-round. And they're affordable, too. Right now, get 2 windows free for every 2 you buy. Plus, with 0 down and no payments or interest for 2 years, you could get new windows installed in 1 day and not pay anything until 2027.
Imagine what you could do with all that extra money in your pocket. Plus, they're guaranteed for life. Don't miss out on your chance to take advantage of the buy 2, get 2 for free promotion, and you don't pay anything until 2027. Schedule your fast free estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Hey, I just met you.
Did you see?
Kevin's on it today. I like that Friday vibe.
Did you see High Tax Holcomb has a new job?
He does. He's going to be on the board of directors.
Bad news, sister. We'll get to that in a second. But first, what's going on with Trump and the Department of Education?
Well, he was very busy yesterday signing that executive order to begin the process of closing the Department of Education. He has tasked Linda McMahon with facilitating the closure and returning education authority to states and local communities. Here is Donald Trump.
Today we take a very historic action that was 45 years in the making. In a few moments, I will sign an executive order to begin eliminating the Federal Department of Education once and for all.
Well, there you go.
Okay, so Mike Braun was there, and so was Texas Governor Greg Abbott, so was Ron DeSantis, the governor from Ohio. Mike DeWine was also in attendance. Indiana receives about $2 billion in federal funding for K through 12 and higher education, but they're saying that's all going back to the states now.
Well, you and I went through the list. There's, 7 things the Department of Education is supposedly charged with doing last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, and there was not a single thing on there that we said some other existing agency of government cannot do this thing. What does someone in Washington, D.C. possibly know about some person in Lisden, Indiana? The answer is nothing. They don't know the culture. They don't know the area. They don't know the values. Why are they dictating what that child has to learn. The answer is there is no answer for it. It's a giant boondoggle bureaucracy, and the faster we can get rid of it, the better. And just give that money to those communities, let them educate the children as they see fit, as the community sees fit. We will all be better off.
47 cents out of every dollar received from the federal government towards education goes to just regulations. It's not about the education. So
okay, so
half.
Think about this. Okay, every year we do the radiothon for the Salvation Army, and one of the selling points of the Salvation Army is the amount of money when you give that goes directly into the program itself. It's some incredible number, like 87 cents of every dollar. I mean, it's very, very high, especially by nonprofit standards. And that's why I think we do keep besting our records every year, as people know and they see the results, right? So if I'm giving, very little of that is going to go to administration. Most of it's going directly into the program. You're not even getting half when you give money to the federal government. Not even half of the money. I mean, you're not giving it. It's being taken from you. But the money taken from you, no nonprofit would be able to stay in existence if they ran on 47 cents of every dollar going back. And it's not even like it's going well. It's just going. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So the U.S. Department of Education has spent over $3 trillion since 1979.
And look at the state of education in this country. $3 trillion. And look at the state of education in this country.
Yeah. Not a lot to show for it, right? They've increased their spending per pupil by 245%. And yet you still have low math and reading scores. And you still have 40% of fourth grade students that can't meet basic reading levels.
But let's dumb that down, no pun intended, to the state level. What happens every single budget to education, public education spending in the state?
Yeah, well, it just keeps increasing, right?
And yet every year, the lawmakers admit the public education system is broken to the point now where they're prepared in this budget to pass a universal school choice option for the residents of our state. So Republicans here can badmouth Washington, D.C. all they want. They do the same thing. They just have less dollars to play with. They just keep throwing more and more money at a problem that they are incapable. Republicans have been in charge of education in this state for 20 years, and it's just gotten progressively worse. And yet they will badmouth Washington, D.C. for doing the same thing that they're doing here locally.
So the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, he says the Department of Education in Washington is not for teaching students, it's for indoctrination.
The Department of Education here in Washington, D.C. is overwhelmingly staffed by radical left Marxist bureaucrats who are in every way hostile to Western civilization, hostile to American interests, and hostile to our founding documents and culture. And so they are using their position and influence inside the Department of Education to try to force agendas like radical gender ideology, like critical race theory, like diversity, equity, and inclusion, and all kinds of anti-America curricula and policies on the American people, on our students, on our children.
Okay, so he went on to say that under Donald Trump's leadership and direction, the return to authority will go to the local level.
Hey, did you see Lockdown McGee got a new job?
Yeah, what's he going to be? He's going to be some board of director at Doral Renewables.
Did we call this or did we call this? We said, what's he going to do? I said, well, he's not going to work a real job. I mean, you think about the timeline of Holcomb's public life. It was he had his nose firmly entrenched between Mitch Daniels' butt cheeks when he ran state party. And look, we've seen what a dumpster fire position that is. Look at the condition of the state party and how they can't keep anybody in there. It's not like they're getting the best and the brightest to run the state party. And then he extracted his nose from Mitch Daniels' butt cheeks and then stuck his nose between Dan Coates' butt cheeks for several years. Then tried to stand on his own and be a big boy and run for U.S. Senate, and he did so bad that he was completely out of money and in resoundingly dead last place in every poll that came out that he had to go to his establishment buddies and convince them to convince Mike Pence to save him because Sue Ellspermann flipped her middle finger in Pence's face and said, I am not running with you anymore, buddy. You're a dumpster fire. And then by the greatest stroke of luck of all time, and if you believe the rumors, one vote that was cast by Jamie Knoll. He got to be the Republican nominee for governor.
His BFF.
Yeah. How's Jamie Knoll doing, Case? Where's Jamie Knoll at these days? Oh, is he? Huh? Hot dang. Did he do something wrong? Huh. Hadn't heard. Holcomb gets to be the governor of the state of Indiana. He has no applicable talents. He has no applicable skill sets that you would associate. Like Braun ran a great company, built it into a monster. He's a gajillionaire, right? Like he did stuff. He did things. You would say that's a dude you want running your state because he made it in life.
Knows how to run a business.
Holcomb had none of that. So we said there's no way he's going to run a company. There's no way he's going to be in charge of anything where he has to actually produce. They're going to use his. I mean, we said all this. We've been saying this for months, and it's happening right in front of us. We're about to tell you what a bad deal this is about to be for you. We said it's going to be something that he used his position of governor to create, and he will then be allowed to continue that in some sort of director role. And hot dang, Casey, look at this company that hired him, Doral Renewables LLC, which is the solar mega plant people. And what has been happening under Eric Holcomb's watch through legislation created by him in the General Assembly under his watch.
Yeah, they've been popping up on the farmland.
You have seen a mass devastation and destruction of our beautiful farm fields, and in their place, these giant solar farm eyesores. Casey, my level of impressing myself, I mean, we nailed this to the letter.
So long ago.
We nailed this to the letter of what he was going to do and where he was going to go. This is a company out of Philadelphia, and you are seeing this play out again and again and again with these lawmakers. This is the Brett Clark thing all over again. Brett Clark is now a senator from Hendricks County.
Yeah.
He was a career law enforcement person, deputy sheriff, then sheriff. No construction management experience whatsoever. But wouldn't you know, Casey, the company that was hired to construct the construction of the Hendricks County Jail when he was sheriff, well, as soon as he gets out of being sheriff and now he's a lawmaker divvying out dollars, well, he's hired by this construction management company as a consultant.
Exactly.
You're seeing this where these people, whether it's Holcomb or Brett Clark, are leveraging their power and position of influence on things that they have overseen and controlled in their role as lawmakers to now make a bunch of money. In the case of Brett Clark, he is still a lawmaker. In the case, he was a sheriff before that. But you're seeing this play out over and over and over and over again. This stinks beyond belief, but it is. If you were to describe Eric Holcomb in a phrase, it would be stinks beyond belief. So in a weird way, it's perfect.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. And something else that stinks, that coach from U of M. That football coach.
This is horrible.
Talk about weirdo creeper dude. We have to talk about it coming up from 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 3:06 this afternoon. Beer Sample Friday. We've got some barguments and the biggest stories in Indy. Let's talk, let's laugh, let's drink. 93 WIBC.
You love spring in Indy, so don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Mike did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Visit Rhino Shield's booth at the Flower and Patio Show and learn about their 25-year transferable warranty protection. Plus, receive a free prize.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Hey folks, Scott Wilson here from Wilson Farm Market. Even in winter, we're bringing you the best in farm fresh flavors.
Stop in for our fresh salad bar, hot and crispy wing bar, and a cheese selection that is second to none. Got a sweet tooth? Our homemade pies, creamy fudge, and old-fashioned candy will hit the spot. Come see us on US 31 just north of Carmel. We're open every day 9 to 6. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about fresh, local, and delicious. See you soon.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Spring is here, and that means it's time for new flooring in your home. Brothers Floor Covering is ready to help. Brand new carpet, hardwoods, laminates, and luxury vinyl plank in stock now. Plus, Brothers Floor Covering can get your new flooring installed in as little as 2 weeks. Visit Brothers Floor Covering today at their new location, 8550 North Michigan Road. Discover why buying local means getting more, not paying more. Get the flooring of your dreams installed now. Go to brothers-floorcovering.com. That's brothers-floorcovering.com.
Kendall and Casey.
I'm a young, up-and-coming professional. We are people who want to work. We want to engage. We don't want to be freeloaders. And yet, it makes it very hard for young people to actually do that.
Kendall and Casey, 9 till noon on 93 WIBC.
Casey, who's the weirdest guy you ever went on a date with?
The weirdest guy?
There has to be some super weirdo.
I don't know. I didn't really date a lot of weirdos because why would I want to do that?
Well, but I mean, I'm not saying like you were in some intense romance with them. I'm saying that you went on a date with and you're like, that guy was super creepy.
Probably. Well, I've talked about Doug before.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was not Kirk Herbstreit?
No, it's not Kirk. Yeah, it was Doug.
For those of you who don't know, Casey grew up with Kirk Herbstreit, and she was in an intense competition for Kirk Herbstreit's heart with, what was her name?
Jenny Ruby.
Jenny Ruby, right.
Yeah. No, Jenny won that one hands down. I don't even think I was in the running.
But anyway, so there was a guy named Doug. What was wrong with Doug?
Well, Doug took me to a Rush concert.
Oh, that's cool. What's creepy about that?
Well, that was fine. It was after the concert that things got weird. He was expecting a little too much, a little too fast.
Oh, that's understandable. Yes, very good. Well, Rush tickets weren't cheap, probably not even in the 60s. So,
Nice. Rush wasn't even around in the 60s. Good try, though.
Okay, so whatever.
Your math isn't mathin'.
Whoever the creepiest guy ever went on a date with is the former football coach at Michigan says, "Hold my beer. I've got you beat." Did you see this guy?
Yeah, Matthew Weiss. Okay, so he's the former co-offensive coordinator of quarterbacks for University of Michigan. He was charged with hacking into thousands of athlete and alumni accounts and downloading private data. This happened over an 8-year span.
Okay, so if you remember, Michigan got in trouble because Jim Harbaugh fled Michigan before they could bring the hammer down on him because he had this coach who was allegedly had this elaborate sign stealing scheme. Like they knew he would pay people to go to games. There are strict rules on filming and how you can do this. And you name a rule, basically, they were violating them. And now that guy got taken care of, but Harbaugh, I think he went to the pros, right? So he basically got out without a punishment.
Before the heat was turned up too much.
But now this guy, who was, I don't know, I guess they were there at the same time, makes that dude look like a choir boy because that guy was just stealing signs from teams in a competitive edge. This guy, allegedly, ESPN has a big piece on this, was hacking into these files. And it wasn't just like, hey, I want to get medical records on the opposing team to see who might be injured. No. This was just...
It was 150,000 athletes. And he was accessing all their personal data. And he gained access to their social media, their email, their cloud storage.
So this guy was basically a super hacker
Yeah.
Who had these immense computer skills. And then he would, according to the ESPN article, he would allegedly, now he has been indicted, correct? That's why this is coming out.
He faces 24 counts, 14 counts of unauthorized access to computers, and 10 counts of aggravated identity theft.
Okay, but the thing he was doing that's bad enough, right? But the super creepy thing is he was trying to get compromising photos of women in, sexually suggestive positions and whatever. And he was, because he was very good at this. And then he would save these photos. He would find these women based on what his favorite physical features were. And then he had like a Rolodex of his favorite ones that he would go back to.
Yes, he kept detailed notes on all the individuals that he targeted, and he even commented on their bodies and their preferences.
Like to himself in the notes.
Right.
Not like he went up to,
he had journals of notes of all the athletes that he was targeting.
I mean, the creeperville on this guy, the creeper meter on this guy,
it's through the roof. I mean, it's 10 plus, right? You're in the red.
Look, I mean, as a dude, every dude has taken the swing and missed, and in hindsight, looked back on something and gone, that wasn't a good look. But you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's part of dating, right? Is you gotta.
This isn't dating.
No, I was gonna say this is not. This is psychotic, needs to be institutionalized behavior, and society will be better off when this guy is no longer free to use a computer or smart device of any sort.
I mean, he allegedly downloaded all their personal and intimate photos and videos, things that were meant to be shared between intimate partners. And he was taking it for his own use.
But it does come back to, and young people just don't seem to process this, that sometimes nothing of your own fault, people can get access to your photos. They can get access to your personal things. And when you do that, you are taking a huge risk by uploading those things or having them to exist, period, anywhere, that not only could some scorned lover of some sort utilize them or take advantage of them, but guys like this just totally accidentally, in the sense of he's just finding people to look at, finding things to look through.
Well, I mean, this guy, he's intentionally hacking into their phones, their iCloud, their email, everything.
Right, but it seemed like it was largely not accidental, but coincidental who he would get into, right? Like there were certain people he would be looking for something, and then he would find someone else that was somehow connected to that and go, oh, that's just my type, right?
Well, I'm interested in this over here.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, is not even he wouldn't necessarily have even been looking for you, but because of his skills or whatever, was able to get people's information.
It's just incredible, all of the access that he was able to get. So he faces up to 5 years in prison, and he was fired back in January of 23 by the University of Michigan.
And how is Harbaugh, like, okay, I get that you don't know what everybody's doing at all times, but the amount of time it took this guy to pull this off, and then when you couple that with the sign-stealing guy, somebody really does need to, he is now the coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, somebody really does need to pin Jim Harbaugh down and go, how could you not have known something was amiss with these people?
It seemed to happen over a 2-year period. So, I mean, the guy started in 21. He was fired in 23.
But that's my point, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, you're in the volume of this, and I'm not insinuating it, but it's almost like the Jerry Sandusky thing. For people who remember, Jerry Sandusky was this renowned defensive coach at Penn State, was the right-hand guy of Joe Paterno, was doing heinous things to young boys, it sexually molesting them, whatever. And it came to light that while Joe Paterno may not have known directly what was going on, it was sort of like, well, this guy's kind of a weirdo, and I'm old, and the less I know, the better, and he can really coach football. So, I'm just not going to know anything, la, la, la. And I don't know, man. I mean, I guess that's the best this situation could be. Like the volume of this, how could you not have known something was amiss? Maybe what
are you doing in your free time?
Intricate details,
right? I mean, when you're in a leadership position, you have some sort of responsibility. of the people that you have surrounding you.
And especially when you've got this guy stealing signs, this guy's doing this, like, really? What do you think your coaches are doing at all times?
Pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But, okay, we got to get back into this thing with Holcomb and this new job, because this is really bad news. And we've got coming up a guy who is a county commissioner in Marshall County who has a lot of experience with this company and this solar stuff that Holcomb is now going to be a part of. And everybody better wake up. Jesse Bohannon, Marshall County Commissioner, going to join us next.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Finally, spring has sprung, and Sullivan Hardware and Garden in Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan are celebrating with our spring open house this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pat Sullivan here, and that means Pansy Roulette, where everyone is a winner. You could receive between 10 and 100% off your purchase of gift items, plants, garden accents, and grill accessories. Just pick a pansy, go shopping, and let your cashier open the tab to reveal your savings. Check the specials on all of our patio furniture, pre-season priced at 30% off. During this event, you'll get an extra 10% off. Make sure you see the additional spring open house specials throughout all of our stores. And on Saturday, there'll be free seminars on plants, lawns, decorating, container gardening, and much more. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers.
One of the real advantages that we have here at Hendricks is the scope of the services that we have to offer in orthopedics.
Whether they have a hip fracture or they're a high-functioning athlete, we're all working towards the same thing.
To have them be able to have an elective surgery safely and then go home also in a safe fashion is of utmost importance.
We very much want everyone to get back to doing everything that they were doing beforehand. We're really invested in it.
Unstoppable orthopedic care. Learn more at hendricks.org/ortho.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. Nursery stock is arriving daily at both locations are filling up. Come shop early and save. 20% off all container trees and shrubs in stock now at both Sundown Gardens in Westfield and Miss M's Home and Garden in Bargersville. Their gift shops are full of spring color. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield. Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135 just south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville. Stop in and see them this week.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. Take advantage of this limited time tax sale before it's gone. Buy two, get two free. No interest until 2030 and an extra $500 off only in March.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Brooks and Dunn, the best-selling duo of all time live.
Something country.
Neon Moon Tour 2025.
Urban neon.
With David Lee Murphy.
A little dust on the bottom of that red dirt road.
April 3rd, Gainbridge Fieldhouse. On sale now at Ticketmaster. Brooks and Dunn Live.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT. Kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, why it's been a busy morning for the feds in Indianapolis, why a man in Indianapolis was sentenced to more than 3 decades in prison, and how the police were able to catch a man who had been missing from his work detail. Those stories and more after Fox News Radio. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
Elon Musk's at the Pentagon. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. He got there a little while ago for meetings with senior Defense Department officials about his DOGE efficiency and cost-cutting efforts, they say, not China.
President Trump and top defense officials are denying a report in the New York Times that Elon Musk is being briefed on top-secret war plans about any potential conflict with China.
This is egregious. This is fake.
Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell says Musk is visiting the Pentagon as part of the department's commitment to find waste, fraud, and abuse in defense spending.
Every dollar that we save here in a wasteful spending program is a dollar that we could reinvest in the warfighters.
In a social media post, President Trump says Musk is not being briefed on anything about China by the Department of War. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
There are protests at the Education Department and legal challenges planned against President Trump's order to break up the federal Education Department.
We're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs, and this is a very popular thing to do, but much more importantly, it's a common sense thing to do, and it's going to work. Absolutely, it's going to work.
A letter from top House Democrats urges the administration to rescind the order. There's a 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time federal court hearing in D.C. today about the Trump administration using the Alien Enemies Act to deport accused gang members and not turning around deportation flights the judge had ordered stopped. There's a ripple effect on flights worldwide from a fire in London.
Flights either headed to or coming from London Heathrow are canceled or backed up due to nearby electrical fires, and that's affecting flights everywhere else in the world from Taiwan to Bangkok. Even U.S. flights from New York's JFK on both Delta and American Airlines had to be canceled. One Singapore Airlines plane flying to London was forced to land in Frankfurt, Germany.
Fox's Evan Brown, tens of thousands of passengers are stranded. Flight disruptions could last for days. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Arrest warrants are being served. You've got a sunny sky, and it's 36 degrees in the Circle City. Today's high 56. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. At least 9 locations in Indianapolis have been raided this morning. The FBI, the DEA, and officers from Fishers and additional SWAT teams have been serving the arrest warrants, one of which is on Looking Glass Way, which is in between 62nd and 75th Streets on the northeast side. Also this morning, the Marion County Prosecutor's Office says a man named Deontay Williams has been sentenced to 34 years in prison. 22 of those is for a meth dealing charge. The other 12 is for being a habitual offender. An inmate who escaped his work detail was captured. Jake McDaniel reports.
His name is Michael Anderson, who is facing 3 years in prison for burglary at the Edinburgh Correctional Facility. Jackson County officials say he ran off and officers were looking for him. They say they finally found Anderson during a traffic stop in Salem. When officers tried to pull him over, they say he ran off, but then they quickly grabbed him and took him to jail. Officers say Anderson could face several more criminal charges, and they are looking into this now. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Several tornadoes confirmed Wednesday night across Indiana, one of which was in Bartholomew County.
So they found evidence of EF2 tornado with a peak wind of about 112 miles an hour.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service says that Bartholomew County twister mostly damaged farm buildings and trees, but also twisted and bent some electric transmission towers. The Indiana Pacers needed overtime, but they were able to beat the Brooklyn Nets Thursday night, 105-99. Benedict Mathurin led the Pacers with 28 points, which drew lots of praise from his head coach, Rick Carlisle.
Mathurin was spectacular, especially in the fourth quarter. 28 points, 16 rebounds. The guy put a will on the game that was a big difference maker.
They play the Nets at home again tomorrow. This was their 3rd win in a row and the 40th win of the season for the Pacers. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 10:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Casey, we talked about it last hour. The former governor. Thankfully, he's now the former governor.
Former Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb.
But he's got himself a new job, and it looks like it's bad news.
Yeah, he's going to be joining the board of directors for, what is it, Doral?
Renewables. Yeah. So this is the solar people, right?
Solar energy.
So Holcomb said to himself, I haven't destroyed enough of the Indiana landscape while I was governor. Hold my beer. I'm going to hook up with a Philadelphia-based company, and let's see if we can do some more damage.
I'm wondering, does this mean he's going to move to Philadelphia?
Oh,
Probably not.
We couldn't get that lucky. You know, word on the street is he bought a house in the greater Brownsburg area.
Oh, you could be neighbors.
Oh, goodness, Casey. It's a piece of property much bigger than anyone I could afford. All right, so we talked about this last hour. Let's bring in a guy who has some experience with these with Doral Renewables LLC, and it ain't good. He's a friend of the program, actually spoke at our property tax rally.
Yeah.
Brought the heat.
Yes, he did.
It was great. We'll get to that in a second. Jesse Bohannon is his name. He's a commissioner in Marshall County. Jesse, hello.
Hey, good morning, Rob. Good morning, Casey.
All right, so tell us you actually have some experience with this Doral Renewables, and it ain't good up there in Marshall County. Tell us about it.
Well, if you'll remember, Holcomb was pushing this project big while he was governor, this Mammoth Solar Project, which is the biggest solar project in the country, at least it was at the time. And it is basically 5 miles from my house. It's spanning multiple counties. In Pulaski County, Stark County, and heading to the west of there. So, they're all over the place here right now.
When you say a solar project, explain that to our audience.
So basically, they call it's industrial scale solar. It is, if you're out driving in the country, it's country blocks just full of solar panels. You're talking about thousands and thousands of acres. Right next door to me in Pulaski County, currently 25% of the farmland in that county is leased to solar companies.
Okay, so we got into this, Casey and I did a little bit last hour, but again, you're speaking of this from experience because it's actually happening in your backyard as a Marshall County commissioner. One of the issues with the property tax the discussion is you've got these guys like Brett Clark, who was a career law enforcement guy. He was a deputy sheriff and then a sheriff. And all of a sudden, he ends up working for one of these construction management companies with no construction experience whatsoever.
He's a consultant.
He's now, yes. And the same company that he's working for is the company that did the Hendricks County Jail when he was sheriff. And that goes, well, that doesn't seem ethical or right. And it seems like now the same thing is happening with Holcomb. Hey, you deliver solar to our state. Here's your sweetheart job once you're done being governor.
Yeah, well, and I'd like to say that it wasn't a pattern, but it absolutely is a pattern, and I think that's the most concerning thing about it. I talked to a Pulaski County commissioner last night after we spoke. She says they have documented 20 conflicted elected or appointed officials just in her county alone.
Because what is Holcomb? So Holcomb's never. When was the last time Holcomb had a real job? He had his head up Mitch Daniels' backside when he ran state party. He had his head up Dan Coates' backside when he worked in the Senate. He got his ass kicked when he tried to run for U.S. Senate on his own. He got saved by Pence when Ellspermann put her middle finger in Pence's face and said, "I'm out of here," and then lucked into being governor. What experience does this guy have in the private sector with solar?
Yeah, I was thinking about this prepping for our call. What is the most corrupt organization in the entire state of Indiana?
IEDC?
It's the Indiana Republican Party.
Oh, well, it's even... Yes, you're absolutely right, Jesse.
So we had a new chairman after the elections last year. Randy Head, great guy, was uniting the party. You know, he called me. I'm nobody, right? He calls me the day after he gets elected chairman. And as soon as we get through the election and we unify the party, boom, now we got a new chairman again. I have no idea. I've been involved in this party for over 10 years now. who in the world actually runs the Indiana Republican Party?
That is a great, great question. Jesse Bohannon is our guest. He is a commissioner in Marshall County. We're talking about this company, Doral Renewables LLC, that the former governor, Holcomb, has now gone to work for. Jesse, can you talk about the danger of these mass solar producers and how they are harming and have the potential in the future to harm the landscape in the state of Indiana?
Yeah, well, I think we turned down solar here in Marshall County, by the way. It was a big fight. But the big reason why me and a lot of the other elected officials in Marshall said no to it is there is really no long-term accountability for these people. They set up layers and layers of legal protection so that no matter what happens, they make money and they have no responsibility. So they come into a county, they completely ruin your farmland by they're scraping, just millions of tons of topsoil out of Pulaski County right now. And then they put in these solar panels, just, like I said, thousands and thousands of acres of them. And if these projects go belly up, which I think there's probably a good likelihood they will, there's really no responsibility about who does the cleanup. And my fear as a commissioner is, we're not going to get the revenue. They're not paying people the way they promised that they would. And then they can just walk away and leave the people, and then that comes down to county government to do millions and millions of dollars of cleanup. We have these brownfields coming out of bad industrial practices from the past, and it's cost us a lot of money as a country to clean up these brownfields. This is going to be the worst brownfield situation that you've ever seen.
Whenever I hear the word cleanup, you know what it reminds me of, Rob?
What's that?
Keel oil.
Oh, yes. That's right. The Keel Brothers oil that the Pences were involved in and left the people with the
cleanup of that.
Huge tab to clean up. Yeah.
Jesse, the CEO of Doral Renewables, said that Holcomb's mindset aligns with our farmer community. And based on what you just said, is the farming community excited about this or probably not?
Well, first of all, they call this stuff solar farming, and it is not farming. These are power plants. But the people in Marshall County were very much against this. These kind of projects are being done absolutely in defiance of public opinion, and it was proven out. I mean, there were 184 county commissioners up for election statewide last year. 88 of them lost, and 77, the Commissioners Association estimates, lost because they supported renewables.
Wow.
So that was, normally 90% of incumbents get reelected, but 48% of the commissioners up last year lost.
Now, this is important too, Jesse, because now it appears dead for now, but you know how the General Assembly works. Nothing's dead until sine die. That there was a law that was going to this is what Holcomb's doing and this company should be important to people, because there was a law that would have basically gutted the local control of people like you to stop these projects.
Yeah, it was SB 1628 was up for discussion, and one of my favorite legislators, Ed Soliday, was pushing that. And he, we came to testify against this in committee, and it went in for hours and hours and hours. Local officials from all over the state testifying against this. And Soliday is just basically saying, well, there's not a question of whether this is going to happen. He says it's going to happen. Just help us make the bill better. No is not an option, was Soliday's response. And obviously, his committee with it because he never brought it up for a vote in committee.
Jesse, we got about a minute left here. You were great at that property tax rally on Monday. I want to just give you real quick an opportunity to give your thoughts on it and how you believe that local governments can make this work if the governor gets his property tax reset.
Yeah, great rally. Was so fired up to be there. The one point that I dropped out of that speech was talking about economic development. How in the world are we asking local government to cut, which we should, but we're spending $1 billion every 2 years on economic development? But the tax system is just insane right now locally. We don't have tools to cut taxes under the current system. And what we need to do is just to restructure this all together. We need to reduce property taxes on homeowners especially, but we also need to give somebody locally an opportunity to make a value judgment, right? If a school's getting a certain amount of property tax, is that the right amount? If a library is getting property tax, is that the right amount? Because right now, there's never an adjustment to that. So people are building these big cash balances, and there's really nothing that anybody in local government can do about it because there's no incentive to cut taxes. So I'm hoping that they can make some changes and that the folks in local government will give input to make that system good, because the people are getting taxed too much, and we're really spending money on stupid stuff like solar projects, like the LEAP project, this Ready 2.0 stuff. There's just so many bad incentives in the system right now.
Casey, I can let this cat out of the bag. You know, there's many people that want me to run the Indiana Doge, and we made this proposal to Governor Braun that we walked over there.
Yeah.
I can let the cat out of the bag of my 10, it's not a dirty dozen because there's not a dozen, but of my 10, my motley crew, Jesse would be near the top of the list. I would be people that I would be bringing in. Jesse, are you prepared to accept if I am asked by the governor to run Indiana Doge to help me find billions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse in the Indiana government?
Well, I'm not a technocrat, and we need some technocrats in that to pick this stuff apart, but I'll definitely be the hype man for it.
Perfect. Very good. Yes, absolutely. Jesse Bohannon, you're the best. Thank you for all you're doing. Keep up the good work, brother.
All right. Thank you, guys. You too.
Yeah, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Another update is just minutes away.
Top House Democrats urging the Trump administration to rescind an order to start dismantling the Department of Education.
Hear the news
States in control of education.
as events happen.
Gas prices go up and down.
We'll happen to be there.
Change over to summer gasoline. Tariffs are likely to make prices uncertain in late spring. Meth and cocaine.
Investigation started around December of last year.
Tornado confirmed Wednesday night.
EF2 tornado with a peak wind of about 112 miles an hour.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Are you wanting comfort at half the price? Now's the time, because Lazy Boy and Smith Brothers are 50% off with extra discounts for cash. Thinking about getting outside soon? Berlin Gardens and Pollywood Outdoor Furniture are up to 20% off during the early season sale. Hurry in to Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Sale ends Monday with free delivery.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
500 Guns is just east of the Speedway and the Viaduct on 16th Street. 500 Guns is your classic old-school gun shop with the best service in Indy. You have to experience it to believe it. Joe and Guy Montgomery and their friendly staff are there to help you if you're a first-time gun owner or looking to add to your collection. They buy and sell single guns or entire collections. Visit 500 Guns today on West 16th Street, just east of the Speedway, or find 500 Guns on Facebook.
Matt Bear here. Those heavy spring rains are right around the corner. Make sure you're ready for them with a free roof inspection from my friends at Cochran Exteriors. Notice a musty smell inside your attic, shingles curling, or have a leaky problem area? It's time to get it done. Call Cochran Exteriors for a free, no obligation consultation with options to meet your budget with a lifetime workmanship warranty. Get scheduled now before the spring brush. Visit CochranExteriors.com.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Spring's here, and it's time for a new patio. Indy Decorative Concrete is offering free demolition. Got an old deck? Cracked concrete? We'll remove it at no cost. Hurry, this offer ends April 30th. Go to IndyDecorativeConcrete.com for details.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Casey, it's time.
It's Friday, so that means we're going to mention our favorite Secretary of State.
That's right. It's the daily Diego's a Sleazeball segment. Diego Morales, the Sleazeball Secretary of State. We'll get to that in a second, but first, we're going to be a little discombobulated the next hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer is running behind.
Yeah.
So we will not have Hammer at 10:45. We're instead going to have Hammer at 10:30. Susan, who's
11:30.
I'm sorry. 11:30. Thank you. So Hammer's moving from 11:45 or from 10:45 to 11:30. Susan, who is normally with us for the Mind Your Manners segment at 11:45, will be at 11:15 because I have some special guests coming in
at 11:45.
At 11:45.
Okay.
So do you follow that?
I got it.
Hammer's at 11:30.
I got you.
Susan's at 11:15. Special guest 11:45. There you go. Boom. Okay. Diego's a sleazeball. Tell us more.
Okay, so they were having the Senate appropriation hearing. I believe they were talking about 2024, and he was asked about his brother-in-law who works for him, who not only makes a six-figure salary, but also got a $15,000 bonus.
One of the other questions that Senator Cador had specifically asked was about nepotism, and in particular, you had mentioned essentially that it wasn't the position that you were in question was not in violation of the nepotism laws because it was not one of the enumerated or one of the listed relatives that would be in violation of the nepotism law. Is that correct? Is that safe to say? So in that position, or that relative would essentially be brother-in-law, correct?
Correct.
And in that position, that brother-in-law received a six-figure, about $120,000 salary. Is that correct?
Say the figure again, please.
The brother-in-law in question received a six-figure salary. Is that correct?
Well, six figures, correct. Yeah.
And received a $15,000 bonus as well?
Yes.
Okay.
To my knowledge, yeah.
Is the secretary aware of, although it does not specifically violate or may not violate the nepotism law, the essentially the appearance of that? Is he aware of that at this point? Do you feel like?
It certainly is now, yes. But we really have our business committee, our executive committee. We really supported those bonuses because they were for some very significant accomplishment of objectives in a short period of time within the business unit involved. And so.
Okay, all right. So a couple of things. I believe that was the attorney for the Secretary of State's office because Diego. So we need to point this out again. Diego Morales, the Secretary of State, was totally depantsed in the House budget hearing about a month ago by Ed Delaney, who's a Democrat state rep, over this exact thing. The no-bid contracts, the hiring of the brother-in-law.
Right.
It was like some bad SNL skit, only it was real life, and Diego really runs elections and businesses in this state. So because I can't say the word I want, I'll say it. That chicken instead of manning up and getting better at it and learning how his office works and owning it, just no-showed the hearing.
Right.
He sent his attorney, and I think he sent his legislative director in his place, and that's who runs elections and businesses in the state of Indiana. A guy who gets totally depantsed when he's asked a very basic question about hiring his brother-in-law to a six-figure salary. He can't and won't do it, and then gives some meandering bull-it answer when he's asked about the no-bid contracts and the attorney then has got to try to cover for him. And so instead of manning up and owning what he's doing with your money, he just said, screw it, I'm going somewhere. They didn't even say where he was.
No, they said that he was on some economic development trip.
And so now it's come out that the brother-in-law not only gets the six-figure salary, but got a $15,000 bonus.
Correct. And how come nothing ever comes of this?
Well, this is where it's on the committee and these lawmakers, because this guy is literally this guy is figuratively peeing all over them and going, do something about it. Every time. How much crap does this guy have to pull? He's peeing all over them and going, why don't you guys do something about it? If that committee had any stones whatsoever, they would look at that attorney, that legislative director, and say, you tell Diego Morales, we are not giving your office one penny until he comes in here and answers our questions. So if you guys want jobs, if you want paychecks, if you want insurance, if you want PERF, the retirement plan, you better tell him to drag his backside in here. And I bet he'd come in there. I bet they'd get him in there. But no, they allow this clown show to happen where the statewide elected official doesn't even have to show up to his budget hearing. Gimme, and I'll let somebody else take the slings and arrows for me.
And you actually made a pretty good point there, because the LA or the attorney, whoever that was speaking on his behalf, is technically fighting for their job. Because if that budget is cut, they could say, no, we're not going to have the money for your staff.
Right, that's correct. They'd all be out of jobs.
Right.
But they won't do that. These lawmakers keep taking crap from this guy, no matter how much of it that he pulls, no matter what a buffoon he is, no matter how he wastes money, no matter how he makes our state look like a complete joke. They just keep taking it from this guy and his staff and giving him money and fully funding his office.
Yeah. Okay, so earlier this week, we played a clip of Tim Walz and Gavin Newsom. Tim Walz was on Gavin Newsom's podcast, and they were talking about masculinity, and Tim Walz said that he could beat up all of the MAGA supporters. And then the other night, Jesse Waters from Fox claimed that Democrats feminized themselves in order to win elections and that they lost the election because they had lost their manhood. He went on to say that real men don't talk about masculinity. Real men never say misogyny. It's just not something they do. And then he went on to list the 5 rules for men.
Well, his nickname's Tampon. No real man has a nickname like that. Well, that's what it is. I'm sorry. I didn't make it up. He wants them in boys' bathrooms. Real men don't talk about how they can beat other guys up. They don't talk about how masculine they are. Maybe if you're a professional fighter, you can do that, but I don't know people that do that, and I know a lot of tough guys, like this guy, Greg Gutfeld. I have rules for men. They're just funny. They're not that serious. Like, you don't eat soup in public. You don't cross your legs. And you don't drink from a straw. And one of the reasons you don't drink from a straw is because the way your lips purse. It's very effeminate. And his excuse was, well, I was drinking a milkshake. Again, you shouldn't be drinking a milkshake. Milkshakes are for kids.
Yes. Delicious.
Now,
so he went on to say that husbands should not go grocery shopping with their wives. Men should not take bubble baths alone. Men who lick ice cream cones in public should not do that. And they should also not wish other men happy birthday. Now, he did say he's joking for the most part for these. But I thought, eating soup in public? That's not manly.
Yeah, that's bad because yesterday we had 2 birthdays for people that are friends of the radio station. Our dear friend Farmer Ryan, Freedom Foods Indiana Farmer Ryan, and Brian Baker both had birthdays, and so I wished both of them happy birthday.
Yeah, I don't know about the wishing other men happy birthday.
I've never heard that.
Neither have I. I've heard the straw thing.
Seems a little overzealous. I think I should be able to tell Kevin happy birthday, and I don't think I should feel like some sort of
right.
Yeah, you got to wish your bros happy birthday.
Thank you
That's
very
a nice
much.
Thing to
Yeah.
do.
I mean, anyway, all right. So voicemails?
Yeah, that's coming up from 93 WIBC.
Hey, guys, it's Rob. You know, spring is finally here. Man, do I hate winter. But one thing about spring, it means you got to get your lawn in tip-top shape. That's why I called my friends at Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Sean from Save a Tree came out to my house a couple weeks ago, took a look around, gave me some suggestions on how to make my lawn look great after some tough winter weather. And here in the very near future, we're going to be putting some of those suggestions into action. Save a Tree can make your yard thrive, and then you can enjoy it all summer long. Save a Tree may be the best home upgrade you've ever made. See how beautiful your yard can be. Set up your own evaluation at saveatree.com. I've done this. It's super easy, and you got nothing to lose. SAVATREE.com. SAVATREE.com. Saveatree.com. Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Tell them Rob sent you.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. That's 800-810-1820.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Both local police and the feds are involved. Mostly sunny and 38 degrees in the Circle City, but it feels like 33. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:30. 9 places across Indianapolis were raided this morning, and several arrests have happened. A home was also raided in Lawrence. The FBI in Indianapolis says this is all related to drugs. Passengers at major U.S. airports are feeling the effects of today's closure in the UK of Heathrow Airport. At Los Angeles International Airport, this woman says she's had to change her plans after her flight to London was pushed back to Sunday.
I was a little upset because we have reservations for a safari on the original date that was supposed to arrive, so all those plans have changed now.
More than 1,300 flights to and from Heathrow are affected because the fire at an electrical substation caused the airport to lose power. From more than 2 years in captivity to returning home, a man from Atlanta is no longer being held as a prisoner in Afghanistan. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says George Glesman was released this week after being wrongfully detained. Glesman is an airline mechanic who went to Afghanistan in December of 2022 for vacation, but he was detained by the Taliban after they had retaken control of Afghanistan. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Finally, spring has sprung, and Sullivan Hardware and Garden in Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan are celebrating with our spring open house this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pat Sullivan here, and that means Pansy Roulette, where everyone is a winner. You could receive between 10 and 100% off your purchase of gift items, plants, garden accents, and grill accessories. Just pick a pansy, go shopping, and let your cashier open the tab to reveal your savings. Check the specials on all of our patio furniture, pre-season priced at 30% off. During this event, you'll get an extra 10% off. Make sure you see the additional spring open house specials throughout all of our stores. And on Saturday, there'll be free seminars on plants, lawns, decorating, container gardening, and much more. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers.
Advanced solutions from Comcast Business help turn today's enterprises into engines of modern business. It's how retailers become logistics mastering, supply chain transforming, seamlessly restocking, frictionless paying favorite shopping destinations.
Thank you for shopping.
And how nationwide restaurants become customer focusing, touchscreen ordering,
second window, please,
rapidly customizing, quick serving eateries. It's how we turn financial firms into market tracking, client servicing, cyber securing economic engines.
Loan approved. Congratulations.
And how hospitals become the patient scanning, data managing, welcome to the worlding, life-changing healthcare facilities that we all depend on. With leading networking and connectivity, advanced cybersecurity, and expert partnership, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
We do have some voicemails that we'll get to in just a minute at 317-684-8444. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. But First, we got an email we have to share.
We got this email, and this was great. So yesterday, the show just took on a life of its own when we got into this intense discussion about whether in the song Cherry Bomb, Mellencamp was saying the line smoke was a smoke, sport was a sport, or then we determined it could be spoke was a spoke.
Yeah.
And this went on for close to an hour. Finally, we settled it. That my dear friend Troy Kennett plays keys for Mellencamp. And I said, well, he's played this song 10,000 times. If anybody would know, it's Troy. And I texted him, and Troy texted right back and said, well, it's sport, but he's saying spote. And so thus that sounds like the most John Mellencamp thing ever. That how would anybody even know what he's saying? All right. Very good. So we got an email related to that. Rob, I listen to you guys most weekdays. I enjoy your show and appreciate you for your stance against corruption in government. I can't say thank you enough. However, you messed me up today.
Yeah.
I'm a bus driver. I was listening to you while waiting in my car for the bus to take me back to the garage to pick up my route. But you took so long in revealing the answer to that daggone song that's now stuck in my head. That I missed my bus. Smoke, poke, smoke, fire, whatever. I just had to know what it was. Still, thank you guys for providing laughter and keeping us informed. God bless you and Casey. And I have a solution for when you're dealing with Hammer. 1, don't ever help him again. And 2, have a shot glass of something very strong to shut him up.
That's fantastic.
Yes, that was very wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I will not name the bus driver in question because I don't want people to know that he missed the route while listening to us.
To get the answer. Well, we didn't have the answer until
No. Sometimes I will deliberately
Troy
string things along, and
texted
I was not in that case, Mr. Bus Driver, stringing anyone along for the purpose of keeping people engaged. I just got the answer when I got the answer.
So somebody had tagged us on X, and they asked if Kevin can slow it down and play it backwards.
Yes. Time to bury Paul. Yes.
Number 9.
Yeah, the
number
satanic
9.
hidden message in the John Mellencamp song.
Do you have it queued up, Kevin?
Let me get it here.
Okay. I just thought, for one more time.
One more time, and then we're done with this.
Right, and then
we're done with it.
And then
we've already answered the question on what it was.
in case you missed it, in case you couldn't hang around for the answer.
Yeah, isn't it wild? Are you ready? All right.
Sit and smile. That's when sport was sport.
And now you hear it.
There it is.
Now you do hear it. Once you know what he's saying.
Yeah,
Now you hear
exactly.
it. But you never would have heard it had we not had the actual keyboard player for John Mellencamp tell us what
exactly.
he's saying. And again, let's point out, what radio show can on a Monday put 1,000 people in the State House for a property tax rally,
right?
And then that same week get access to Mellencamp's keyboard player to answer one of the great unknowns of rock and roll history?
That's why we're number 1.
Right,
Rob.
that's why we're number 1. Absolutely.
All right, let's get to a couple phone calls. And you had asked, why do people listen when they hate us?
Oh, yes, because some guy went Twitter nuts on me and was saying horrific things as they usually do. By the way, these things do not bother me. I don't, after all these years, why the troll accounts. Like, eventually I will block you just if you've done enough where I've gotten bored with you to the point where you just say the same things.
Yeah.
I also wait to block people now until I think it will make them the most miserable. So I just let it, because it just festers in them. They have to keep posting more and more and more and more obsessively.
Well, they're just trying to get your attention.
Right, and then I want to make it because it consumes their life, right? Like, it consumes their existence. And I want it to consume to the tippy top point. So then I cut you off and it'll make you the most miserable. But after all these years, the heinous, horrible things as an elected person, as an appointed person, as a radio broadcaster, don't you figure out that I'm eventually just going to laugh? I just laugh at you. We laugh at you. We like, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother Casey anymore. You can say whatever you want to say. It just doesn't. But they keep doing it. And we'll keep using it for show content to get bonuses out of it. Right. But yes,
they are contributing to our wallets.
He was very angry. I don't even remember what the thing was about, but he was very angry and very hateful. And then we pondered the question, why, once again, the great unknown, why you would subject yourself to something or someone that you see that for 3 straight hours.
Right. And here's a phone call with an answer.
Good morning, Rob and Casey. It's been a while since I've called, but Rob, your answer to why the weirdos like to listen to you. I guess I'm one too, but I enjoy your radio. The weirdos that don't like you, it's like being addicted to a drug. They know the drug's bad for them, but they keep using it, but they keep going back to it because they just love the way it makes them feel. So maybe that answers your question why they listen to you and they hate you.
So it's like you're like a dopamine hit.
Ryan Hedrick came in, our beloved newsman, this morning and said the same thing. He goes, I have a friend who hates you. And he freely admits he listens every single morning. He's like, he cannot stand you. And look, God bless you people who listen because you hate us. It all counts the same in the little the way the system works for us, right? You are everybody, the love and the hate are equally as valuable as long as you are hearing our voices.
We're just doing our part.
That's right.
Right.
And either way, I'm going to make money off of you or you're going to go away. Either way, I'm going to win. I can't lose in this equation.
Okay, you came up with a 4-point plan to solve the property tax crisis
That's right.
in
Did
the
you see
great state of Indiana.
Did you see my suit back there?
I did. I saw you had your jacket, and you even, is there a tie?
There's tie, a dress shirt.
Tie.
Now, you're going to have to shoot this because I did not bring those shoes. I was like, I'm not putting the dress shoes in part of this.
Yeah.
You're going to have to shoot this from the, up.
We're going to do like a waist up.
Well, I mean, you're in charge of this.
Frame it out nicely.
So we're making a video today on this. Hopefully it'll be out Monday or Tuesday. Casey's going to work all weekend putting this together.
Well, all weekend.
I can't believe you signed yourself up for this.
All weekend?
Look, Casey, I told you, though, I was very clear, specific with you. I'm reading the prompter. I will do that to the best of my ability.
Right.
And then it's in the ball
and
is in your
court. You're going to turn it over to me?
You will be the executive producer
Won't
and
you be
director.
surprised if I delegate it to someone else?
Well, whoever you give it to, it's out of my hands.
Okay, so you have this plan,
Yes.
and somebody wants to comment on it.
Yeah, Rob, I really don't like your property tax plan. We might be not able to live the next 3 years, and if we pay what our current rate is, yeah, okay, we know it's $1 short of $5,000 a year, and we've already paid $5,000, and then we paid $700 before. I'm sorry, $4,700 before that, and now we're going to pay $5,000 3 more years. No, thanks. We'll just do bronze tax plan.
Well, look, if bronze tax plan is going to pass, that's great. I was trying to offer a compromise because right now we got, I count 3 votes, right? Ireland, Haggard, and Prescott,
right?
For bronze reset. So in lieu of, if we can't move those people, here is a compromised alternative that will still put money back in your pocket. It will keep your taxes from going up. It will get us out of property. Look, I can't make everybody happy. There's 7 million people in this state.
Well, I think his issue with your plan is not the actual plan. It just doesn't go into effect soon enough. He doesn't get relief soon enough.
Well, if we want to get out of property taxes, it's unrealistic to think within, 6 months you're going to be out of property tax. We got to have some realism to the plan. Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
They're not going to enact my plan because it makes too much sense. So it's not going to happen. We're doing this for fun.
It'll go to the Senate, and you know what happens there.
Can you imagine
bills go to die?
Some guy gets up there on the House floor and is like, I would like to introduce into the record the Rob Kendall Property Tax Reform Plan.
Boo!
We got to get, once we do this video, I bet Prescott would do that. The amendments.
They're going to roll in a TV with them, press play.
No, you can just read the plan. I'm making these, how great would that be? I think when it goes to the full House, so we got 2 chances to get amendments on this. 1 in the committee and 2 in the full House. And I bet one of those 3 would say, I rise to enter the Rob Kendall Property Tax Reform Plan into the record.
By the way, I looked at the calendar, and I looked for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week to see if any SB1 1402. No, it's not on the schedule.
Oh, good. Then we got time.
Yeah. They did not have Thursday's calendar out yet.
Well, if you do your job and you get this done over the weekend and we get it out Monday, Casey's so up on technology. She's like, would you like it shot sideways or would you like it
vertically, horizontally?
Like,
well, I just wanted to do it on my phone, and now you're like, no, use the good camera.
Do we have a good camera?
I think so.
Oh, I guess we'll find out.
It's probably down there with the Chiron.
All right.
Also known as a prompter.
Okay. All right. That was very good. Yes, touche. 2 points for you. When we come back, a bunch of people have been like, I bet they won't talk about Micah asking for money. So Micah Beckwith went and asked the Senate Finance Committee for additional funding for his office. There was a big article in Indy Star about it. And Casey, we don't run from stuff on here. We're going to talk about it next because it's a worthwhile conversation. I think Micah made some mistakes. I actually talked about this in an interview I did yesterday with someone, and we'll do it. We're not afraid to talk. We are equal opportunity offenders here. When people do well, we praise them. When they make some mistakes, we talk about them, and that's why we're numero uno. So we're going to do it when we come back.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 3:06 this afternoon. Beer Sample Friday. We've got some barguments and the biggest stories in Indy. Let's talk, let's laugh, let's drink 93 WIBC.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating. Family-owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch-resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas, too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit premierdeckcoating.com.
Whether you're preparing for retirement, navigating a life transition, or simply wondering if you're on the right path, Howard Bailey Financial is here to help. Together, we'll work on a personalized plan designed to bring greater clarity to your goals and help you approach decisions with confidence. It's not just about numbers, it's about the life you want to lead and the legacy you want to leave behind. With over 20 years of experience, Howard Bailey Financial has been dedicated to guiding individuals as they work toward taking control of their financial future and finding peace of mind. Text PATH to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement toolkit and start planning for the retirement you've dreamed of. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
JMV here for Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden Nursery. Stock is arriving daily, and both locations are filling up. Come shop early and save 20% off all container trees and shrubs in stock now at both Sundown Gardens in Westfield and Miss M's Home and Garden in Bargersville. Their gift shops are full of spring color, too. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield. Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135, just south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville. Stop in and see them this week.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-335-2299. That's 800-335-2299.
Welcome to Tire Discounters.
Thanks. I gotta warn you, I drive a hard bargain.
Okay.
So let's hear your first offer.
Well, how about,
yeah,
with any 4-tire purchase,
yeah,
we'll give you a free alignment.
Man, I'm good. All right, let's do it before you change your mind.
And we'll also give you a free oil change.
Ha! I can't believe I talked you into this deal. Sometimes I amaze even myself.
Don't tell accounting. But with any 4-tire purchase at Tire Discounters, you get a free alignment and a free full synthetic oil change.
Hello, it's Rob for my friends at Universal Windows Direct, and what a great time with Universal Windows Direct. It's their tax time sale where you can save big while making your home more comfortable and energy efficient. Get this deal going on right now. There's 3 parts to this. Part 1, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit. No limit. Need 4, you only pay for 2. Need 20, you only pay for 10. You know how that works. Here's something else that's going to make your wallet even happier. Pay no interest until 2030. That's right, no interest for the next 6 years, making it easier than ever to afford the quality windows your home needs. And third, but wait, there's more. Yeah, right. That always gets your attention. Universal Windows Direct is giving you an extra $500 off your home improvement project. I can talk about this tax time sale deal at Universal Windows Direct for hours, but they only give me 60 seconds. And some restrictions do apply. So get all the details and schedule your free in-home estimate. Call today, 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. Check them out on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/cyber. mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today. Today.
Join WIBC this Saturday 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show live from Sullivan Hardware and Garden at 71st and Keystone. Kick off spring at their open house. Play Pansy Roulette where you can win 10 to 100% off select items.
Oh, she's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. At night she's screaming, my mind. Oh, she's hot but a psycho, so left but she's right though. At night she's screaming, my mind.
I think they'd be mad if we just let this whole thing play. Don't Tony do that?
He does. He does on Thursdays. He is a sponsor.
All right, it's Kendall Casey show. Rob, Casey's here. Casey, it's time to teach society a valuable lesson.
Okay.
Right? Okay. This is what we do. We're teachers here on this program.
Is that what we're doing?
Sometimes you can have a good idea, but if your messaging stinks and you don't know who your friends are, it ain't going to amount to a hill of beans.
Okay.
All right. So
say more words.
Okay. So a great example of this is what our old pal, and we love Micah, what Micah Beckwith did the other day when he went in front of this Senate committee and he requested $3 million for faith-based, what got written up as faith-based initiatives. And what he was trying to do is to say, look, state of Indiana, you have made mental health a top priority. The previous lieutenant governor made mental health a top priority. You, the legislature, backed this idea through various mechanisms in the most recent legislative session. I am offering you a way to try to continue this, yet expand the bang for our buck, for lack of a better term, because clearly government does nothing well. Let's partner with various organizations to try to help tackle the mental health crisis at what hopefully will amount to a fraction of the cost. A decent enough idea if indeed the state is committed to mental health. The problem is, and this is a major issue that Mike is going to have to address, and I actually got into this yesterday. Adam Wren, who writes for Politico, he also does a newsletter called Importantville, interviewed me about the impact that our show is having on the discussion of politics in the state of Indiana, the impact we're having on the governor, impact we obviously had on Micah, and the property tax rally. And it was about a 20-minute conversation. I don't know how much of it will get written up. But I talked about this with him. I said, look, I don't know if I would vote for or against this because I would have to dig into the actual details of it. But what I do know is that it's a messaging issue, because what Micah should have done is he allowed the enemy to write the story. He allowed the enemy to write the narrative. In this case, Micah needs to understand, and I mean this actually as a positive, nobody over there likes him. They're all cheering him for his defeat, for the most part. Save for a few lawmakers, the overwhelming majority of the people in the Indiana General Assembly do not like him. They want him to lose. They want him to fail. Take away his conservative credentials, he's an outsider who broke their code, and they see him as a threat. I also think it would be naive to say that they don't necessarily have a great relationship. I think they get along publicly, but I don't think there's a great relationship between the governor's office and Micah Beckwith. I don't think that's breaking any news here. So when you don't have allies where you need allies, you have to craft the narrative yourself before the people who don't like you craft the narrative for you. And then the Indy Star, who wrote the article on it, they're going to be more than happy to write an article about, how the legislature is pushing back. And look at this supposedly conservative guy who's asking for more money. I guess not when it's his religious friends, right? And so that's where you've got to write that narrative in advance and say, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm trying to accomplish. Here's how it's going to save money. Here's how it's in line with conservatism. And Micah has not, on numerous times now, has not done a good job of that. Doesn't mean he's wrong. It means he keeps letting other people who don't like him write and shape the narrative of the thing that he's trying to accomplish.
So he put out, this week I testified in front of the Senate Appropriations Committee to discuss the budget. The previous budget for the Lieutenant Governor's office and the 4 agencies it oversees was approximately $43 million annually. This year's budget for the office and the same 4 agencies is approximately $31.5 million.
So that's what, 12? Is that 12? I'm doing math on the top of my head. 12.
Yeah.
12 million less.
Less.
Right.
Correct, less. But the headline reads that he's asking for more.
Right.
He went on to say that he wants to thank the representatives for encouraging his office to continue to focus on mental health. The reallocation of $3 million for mental health initiatives is a worthy goal. Now, you had said if the state is committed to the idea of helping out with mental health, he says that faith-based approaches can provide better outcomes for mental health support than what the state has currently done. And if it is the state's idea to be committed to the idea of helping out with mental health, I mean, it is. Clearly, they're the ones who brought it up during the budget hearing from Ways and Means.
The last thing is mental health. So those were 3 things that I was able to work very closely with your predecessor. If you have any time to expand or elaborate on those briefly.
Yes.
Of what your plans for your office is.
Yeah, thank you. So those initiatives will be followed as well. I mean, Suzanne is a friend of mine, and I very much valued her attention to working with mental health and disabilities and making sure that the least of these were being cared for. And I think that's near and dear to my heart as a pastor. If you give us the funding to do it, we will pick up where she left off.
Yeah, and look, for all you people, I bet they won't address it because Micah's his friend and this makes him look bad. We address all of this. We don't have any favorites here. When people do stuff, and this is what I said yesterday to Adam Wren. He asked, what grade would you give Micah? I said I'd give him an A because he is doing the things he promised to do. And even when people do things I don't agree with, as long as they're following through, in this case, Micah has followed through on everything, get a good job from me. And then, of course, followed up, well, what do you disagree with him on? As any good journalist would ask.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we got into this discussion. So there you go. We did it. Na. We're still number 1.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Telling me that I'm insane, but don't pretend that you don't love the pain. Oh, she's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. At night she's screaming, my mind. Oh, she's hot but a psycho.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
I'll say this. There are no entries in the Hoops Fan Hall of Fame who didn't show up to the game. Yes, you in the back.
Professor, March Madness is coming to Indianapolis. Are we ready?
You prepared to bring the fire? Give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. The NCAA Sweet 16 and Elite 8, March 28th and 30th in Indianapolis. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MVB tickets. Class dismissed.
Big Joe here. You've heard me talk about Absolute Comfort and the Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits for years. This energy-efficient way to heat and cool your home is a game changer. These systems are smart and can detect when someone is in the room and adjust to your activity. Visit Absolute Comfort at the Flower and Patio Show, booth 382 in the West Pavilion across from the beer garden. Ask for Jeremy or Chris to answer all your questions. Absolute Comfort, your trusted American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Your local news, traffic, and weather all coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios after Fox News on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, it's 11 o'clock.
Why fight when? I'm Chris Foster. Fox News, President Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced this hour a decision on a contract for the next generation of Air Force fighter jets. They'd replace Lockheed Martin's F-22 Raptors. Elon Musk's visit to the Pentagon today is about finding creative solutions to problems, says Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell on Fox. Not a briefing on secret China war plans, as reported by the New York Times.
I see how hard he's working to implement the president's agenda and pursue peace through strength. This type of garbage from the New York Times undermines that process and undermines our mission.
Parnell speaking there about Secretary Hegseth. Musk's work for President Trump has more liberals getting rid of his company's cars this year and conservatives looking to buy.
Tesla cars from the model year 2017 or newer accounted for 1.4% of all the vehicles traded in until March 15th, which compares with just 0.4% in the period last year. Though analysts at TD Cowen tell Barron's their research says if Tesla were to lose share in blue counties but gain in red, Tesla could actually net meaningful sales gains over time.
Fox's Jenny Casola. There's a D.C. federal court hearing today about the use of the Alien Enemies Act for deportations.
Judge James Boasberg will hear arguments this afternoon from the Justice Department and attorneys for migrants deported to El Salvador that the administration says are members of a Venezuelan gang. Boasberg has directed those deportation flights to be halted and questions if the administration ignored his previous ruling requiring aircraft to return to the U.S. President Trump has called for the judge's impeachment, calling him an activist who is looking for publicity.
It's Fox's Jared Halpern. Detained Columbia University protest leader Mahmoud Khalil appears in immigration court in Louisiana. A judge scheduling a fuller hearing for April 8th. Khalil's attorney had asked for more time to review. The Homeland Security Department wanted the hearing sooner. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's all related to drugs. Mostly sunny and 40 degrees in downtown Indy. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Local and federal law enforcement agencies have arrested several people at 9 locations across Indianapolis this morning. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency and the FBI are involved in the operation that's going on today, with one location being a home in Lawrence. 7 other people were taken into custody on Tuesday in Indianapolis on drugs and weapons charges. 2 kids have been arrested because police believe they were responsible for vandalizing the Friendship Missionary Baptist Church in Hawville this week. IMPD saying this morning they identified both the boy and the girl who they thought were responsible not even a day after the incident where graffiti and offensive messages were sprayed on the church. A vigil being held at the church tonight at 6. $66 million. That's how much the city of Indianapolis plans to loan to a developer to revamp Old City Hall and add a hotel, apartments, and shops next door. TWG is the developer, and they say they need the money because construction costs have gone up.
Construction costs are up anywhere between 25 to 50%. Interest rates are also way up. I think each of those has their interest rates, different financial market conditions, have an ability on what amount of debt that we can go get.
Chase Smith from TWG said Thursday night this loan has to be repaid in 10 years. The City County Council will vote on it at their next meeting in April. You've seen gas prices fluctuate. Chris Davis reports on why that's happening.
You've seen gas prices shoot up here in the past couple of days. Gas Buddies Patrick DeHaan says that's because of price cycling, which is something that happens routinely in the Midwest. But he says there's another reason, too.
Last time prices cycled, it was to $3.09. This time prices cycling to $3.29, essentially a 20-cent a gallon premium because of the changeover to summer gasoline. Moving forward, we probably will see prices cycle back up to $3.29 once they fall closer to $3.
And he says the tariffs are likely to make prices uncertain in late spring. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Gas Buddy says the statewide average today is $3.19 a gallon, and that's a 25-cent increase from this time last week. The Purdue Boilermaker men's basketball team advanced to the round of 32 in the NCAA tournament by beating High Point on Thursday, 75-63.
High Point really played hard. I thought we did a good job defensively. I thought our guys really
gave a great effort on the defensive end.
That's Purdue head coach Matt Painter. They play McNeese tomorrow at 12:10. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WYBC.com. It's 11:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Spring in Indy, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint, and the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
Visit Rhino Shield's booth at the Flower and Patio Show and learn about their 25-year transferable warranty protection. Plus, receive a free prize.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WYBC.
All right, Casey, there's enough negativity in this world. Let's get to something positive.
It is Friday, so Purdue basketball opened their NCAA tournament with a 75-63 win over High Point.
No, I said positive. Nobody cares about the B basketball team in Indiana, Purdue, which, by the way, if you sneaking past.
Win in advance.
If you sneaking past High Point. Did you see these guys? This is one of the things I love about the NCAA tournament is you see all these little goober schools, and the guys, like, especially when it's the bigger seed, the top, tippy top seeds against the guys who barely got in. Like the Auburn players in the 1 seed, whatever teeny school they played, they look like a bunch of grown adult men. And these guys on the other team look like a skinny bunch of little guys who barely got, high school basketball size players. And, look, you can Purdue whatever you want. You spent a lot of money there, and good on you. But, but boy, I'll tell you what. Now Purdue got a huge gift that Clemson got beat, so they may have a path to the Sweet 16 again. But wow, boy, howdy, they didn't look great doing it.
So, did you see the High Point players on the plane on the way here? They're all excited on their way to the game.
Oh yeah,
how they were just so excited and ready to go, and then
think about realistically. Realistically, for those people, now who knows? There may be somebody on the High Point men's basketball team who goes on to cure cancer or runs for president of the United States. Who knows? Could happen. But realistically, if you have some sort of understanding of life and the way the world works, I've thought about this. Like, do you know in the moment that this will be the crowning achievement of your life? When the crowning achievement of your life happens,
are you recognizing it?
Do you know this is the moment? And I think if you're realistic, if you're a High Point men's basketball player, for the majority of them, making it and playing on national television in the NCAA tournament may very well be
the pinnacle of their athletic career.
The pinnacle, well, certainly of their athletic career, but of their life. Like, right? I mean, who knows? Again, I'm not trying to in any way disparage them or say they're less than. I'm simply stating the obvious, which is unless numerous individuals go on to do something great individually, in terms of I was on national television, there were tons of people watching me play. Let's face it, High Point is not getting that. It's a little school in North Carolina. That's just not normally getting that. That was it. That was their moment for them, and that would probably be a pretty cool thing, or maybe somewhat a depressing thing to know in the moment. This is it. This is it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully they've got other things to look forward to in their lives.
Well, I'm not saying that, Casey. Obviously, family, marriage, all those.
Right.
But I'm saying in terms of from a notoriety perspective, you know what I'm trying to say. That this is your thing, your moment in the sun. Enjoy as Warren Zevon used to say, enjoy every sandwich, right? And enjoy this moment, because it will, in this case, very quickly, 40 minutes, it will pass you by.
Right. So Purdue's going to face number 12 seed McNeese on Saturday.
McNeese State.
Yep, at 12:10. That game is on CBS.
Are you going?
Boiler up, to the game?
Are you going?
No, but I will be rooting for them.
What sort of alumnus are you?
I'm not an alumnus. My daughter is.
Well, you funded an alumnus.
Speaking of that, we have to mention something.
Wait. You're more important than the alumnus because you wrote the check.
I did write the check.
Without you, you are the booster in the sports
It's
phrase.
true.
You are the booster of that alumnus.
That is true, but I'm not the one walking away with the degree.
Your daughter was on a sweet old NIL deal when it came to going to Purdue University.
Can we mention something about her for just a moment? Because I am super proud of this. So, she moved across the country almost a year ago, and she landed a gig. She got the big girl job.
How exciting.
And it's a big.
Can you say where it's at?
Big girl job. Yeah, she is going to be a researcher at Johns Hopkins University.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, so
Proud
I'm
parent
super proud of her. She got that biology degree, and she wanted to work in lab and help people fight disease, and that's one of the main things that Johns Hopkins works on.
Wonderful.
They have a couple areas that they target. One is maternal health.
Yeah.
One is infant health. One is fight disease, and one is clean drinking water. And she's going to be researching in the lab, doing the work for the clean drinking water and the fighting of diseases.
Okay, so within the
thanks
bounds,
to that Purdue University degree.
Thanks to your checks.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a repayment plan? Is this a student loan forgiveness, or is there a repayment plan?
We haven't discussed that.
Well, I would set up a repayment plan because she's got a nice job now and a nice career ahead of her, and I would guess she'll get it interest free. But in the bounds of realism, have you ever thought back on your life and thought, I realistically wish I had done this? Like, I'm not saying, oh man, I wish I'd played professional basketball. That's not realistic that would happen. Or in the case of Kevin, boy, I wish I'd been the drummer for Metallica. Like, that's not realistic. But in terms of things that actually you could have done, that you easily could have been achieved, have you ever thought, boy, I wish I'd done blank differently?
Oh, wow. Regret? Is that what you're asking?
Not so much regret. Well, regret's a strong word. I'm not talking about like you sit around in some stupor of sadness each day. I'm saying just, man, I really kind of wish I'd done blank. It doesn't have to be life-altering. It's just some path I didn't take that would have been pretty cool if I had it to do over again to try to do that.
When I was young, I wanted to be a disc jockey on the radio, and look at me now. I mean, I'm not playing music right now, but I'm doing the thing that I sought out to do. So, and well beyond what I ever thought I was going to do.
Your daughter, I mentioned this because your daughter moved to Baltimore at a very young age. She graduated college and she made the decision, I'm going to move across the country. And she sets up life there.
Yeah.
And I'd often thought, I was in my mid-20s when I bought my radio station in North Carolina, and I would spend basically 2 weeks there and 2 weeks home. But I always was strongly connected to the place that I had always called home. Now, we go back and forth, but it was always like, this is my permanent place here. I just go there for a while, and then I come back home. I wish, as a younger person, your daughter's age, that I had disconnected from obligation or strings to the point where I had lived in a different state for 2 or 3 years. One state, 1 year. Like, you literally say, I'm going to rent this apartment for a year. I'm not going to buy any furniture or anything that's heavy to move. I'm going to understand there is a time frame on this. I'm going to get a job that is easy to extract yourself from. And I wish I had done that.
Experienced a different part of the country or just a different lifestyle. That's the thing. It's been, I'm not going to lie, it's been really, really hard because I have truly missed having her around.
And that's one of the reasons I chose not to do that. My grandparents were still living at the time. They were still very coherent and lively, and I didn't want to not see them. And obviously, relationship with my parents. And so I kind of look back on it now, and I think that would have been, your daughter is now going to be set up with, whether she stays there or not, the diversity or the experience of being around different people and different things. And I think as I get older, and you say I'm middle age, is that right? I am now middle age.
You are.
As I enter middle age,
you're already in it, buddy. Your dues are.
What is the average?
Your fees are due, by the way.
Average American male, right? Was it 78?
79, I believe.
Is that right?
78, 79.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then, boy, howdy, Casey. Thank you. You're very uplifting today.
Yeah.
I do think. I think about this both ways. I think part of me is like, man, I really wish I had done all of that, because it would have been a great experience to cut strings of connection and live the way you desired to live in a new experience for a couple of years. But then I also think, and I look at it today, and I'm very grateful that I have the connections I do, because it kept me grounded to something, and an idea of the things that mattered to me were always literally right next to me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It absolutely makes sense. It's just people take different paths, right? And that's what you can do when you have loving support of parents. And, you know, I don't want anybody to think, oh, well, she had a silver spoon. She had this great education. You know, she faced a lot of triumphs over the past couple of years. Being diagnosed with a disease, a lot of time in a hospital, surgery, being put in remission. And she said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I've been scared out of my mind and worried about her.
Yeah.
But super proud. And she landed this great job at Johns Hopkins, and it's going to be a great place.
Tell her to get on those student loans. Mom ain't running a bank here.
Yeah, and I'm so incredibly proud.
Great.
So,
good for you. Yeah. Good for her.
Speaking of Purdue, that's what that did for her.
That's great. That's excellent. All right. So if you missed the announcement, we're mixing things up a little bit today because Hammer had to come in late. So, and then we've got special guests coming in 11:45. So Susan's going to join us next for Mind Your Manners. Then Hammer's going to join us at 11:30.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
In the Matt Bear Tournament of Traffic, it's win and go home.
It's taken a lot of work to get here. You just want to advance through the field.
All right, traffic is really backing up on the south.
And to do that, you've got to drive the lanes.
2-vehicle crash blocking the left and center lanes.
You guys know this. You've got to find the openings and take your shots.
Updating your traffic bracket, mornings and afternoons.
Prepare.
Construction backups brutal. Watch for the zone.
March Matt Bear Traffic Madness is on 93 WIBC.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
In almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it is a one and done. Because we don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe. Laugh until your belly aches. Cry because you care so much. And experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
The Pacers homestand continues with a Saturday showdown with the Nets.
Ahead to Toppin, and Toppin pounds it down.
Every game down the stretch has implications on the playoffs.
Turner drives it right hand, right down the middle, posterizing multiple New York defenders. He's on the line with a chance for a three-point play.
Catch the Eastern Conference matchup between the Pacers and the Nets in a rare 5 p.m. tip. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Nets, Saturday at 5.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. Nursery stock is arriving daily at both locations are filling up. Come shop early and save. 20% off all container trees and shrubs in stock now at both Sundown Gardens in Westfield and Miss M's Home and Garden in Bargersville. Their gift shops are full of spring color. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield. Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135 just south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville. Stop in and see them this week.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Susan, looks like I'm losing. I'm losing my mind.
Casey, we're all out of whack today.
You think so?
Well, we got a special group of guests coming in at 11:45 today. And so, as you know, we normally wrap the work week up, sending people into the work week with the skills necessary to be better members of society.
So we're moving the Mind Your Manners segment up a little early today.
That's right. That's correct. And joining us now on the WIBC hotline. So if you're new to the program, by the way, the Mind Your Manners. So what we determined was, while you listeners are fabulous, I mean, you're just wonderful, amazing people, your etiquette, it needs improvement.
A little tweak here and there.
Yeah, so we said we got to find an expert, and we've not just any person. We found a former Miss Indiana, and her manners were so good they elected her second lady of the state of Indiana.
Is that how that worked?
Her name is Susan Beckwith, and each week she gives you the tools and traits necessary to be a better member of society. Susan, how has your life changed since you've been second lady? What is different than it was 3 months ago?
Well, I am getting to travel the state and meet Hoosiers and do lots of interesting things that I never thought I would be doing, and I'm absolutely loving it. So I'm going to be joining Adams County here in a couple weeks, singing the anthem for their Lincoln Day dinner. So we're just doing all kinds of really neat events, and so it's been really good. But as you're talking, you're like, she's going to give us the tidbits to be better, and I'm like, they're really, honestly, I feel like I'm a constant work in progress too. So I feel like this is always a good review for myself.
Humility is something I never got, Casey,
No?
and Susan has it down masterfully.
Maybe that could be a segment in the future.
how to have some humility. Hey, okay, so this is actually, you talked about traveling. This is actually, that's timely for what we're doing today. Many people going on spring break. You're going to give us some travel etiquette.
Yeah, so I love to travel. Alaska is at the top of my travel bucket list, and I'd be curious to know what's at the top of your guys'.
Wait. Of all the places you could go, you want to go to Alaska?
Mm-hmm. I do. I like cold weather, so I know that's kind of different probably than most. And I also love the beach, but I'd love to go to Alaska.
Susan, my grandfather served in Alaska. He was a railroad engineer during World War II, and I can tell you don't want to go to Alaska.
It's very expensive there. But they do have whales. You can do some whale watching.
And bears and snow.
This is
and
true.
depression.
And Mount McKinley.
Yes, they have a lot. All right. Okay, so travel etiquette, getting you ready for your spring break, whether you're a insane person like Susan who wants to go to Alaska or a common sense person like the rest of humanity that wants to go somewhere warm. Susan, go.
So if you are flying, so we'll start with a little quiz this morning, and you are in the middle seat, which armrest is yours?
Both.
She's right.
What?
Yes.
Right, yes, because you don't have the window, you don't have the aisle. So if you are in the middle, technically you have both.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good job, Casey.
Thank you.
Have you ever been a middle person, Casey? Are you
many times?
Really, you strike me as the sort of person who who would bat your eyes and end up on the window seat every time.
I do enjoy the window seat to be able to look out, but the dude likes the aisle seat so that he can stretch his long legs out into the aisle once the flight takes off. And many times that puts me in the middle if I want to sit next to him.
Very good. All right, so you're entitled to both armrests if you're in the middle seat.
Yeah.
Susan, go.
I also very rarely ever recline my seat. Now, obviously, it's your right to do so as a traveler, but I truly think it's a courteous thing, to do that and look to see what's going on behind them. If they have a beverage, like I absolutely won't. If they're very tall, I try to just suck it up and, enjoy the flight and not worry about it. But I do feel like, just being aware of what's happening behind you before you recline your seat.
Self-awareness.
Those
Rob.
seats on the airplane go back?
Not very far, but they do.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
What's the longest flight you've ever been on, Casey?
I think probably 7.5 hours.
Another country, huh?
Yeah.
Susan?
I went over to England on that flight.
It's the longest flight you've ever been on?
That's a good question. Probably 4 hours. We've been out to Seattle. I've done a ton of international flights, so there are so many places that I'd love to go. I am curious though, where is the top of your travel bucket list?
Pittsburgh.
No.
Susan,
you're a homebody and you prefer a road trip, but I am curious, is there any place where, I would love to get there someday?
Susan, we have been through this. I lose my diplomatic immunity. I'm like one of those UN guys. I got a flag on my car, and the moment I leave the county line, I lose my diplomatic immunity. I hate going places.
Really?
I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get out of here. I mean, I love doing this show, but I can't wait to get out of here and get home and watch my Chris Hansen stories and my Unsolved Mystery reruns. No, there's nowhere I want to go. I'm right here where I'm needed. What's travel etiquette number 3, Susan?
Okay, so I absolutely love cologne and perfume, but I know other people are very sensitive to smells. And so just when traveling, I would, refrain or, really do it with a light hand. Save it for when you get to your destination, but just be, I feel like, kind and considerate of others that may be sensitive to scent.
I feel like conversely, also make sure you have good hygiene.
I am telling you, I have been one of those people that have seen folks remove their shoes and have no socks on. That is so gross.
I was so certain you were going to say, I have been one of those people who's been stinky on an airplane.
Never.
Okay, are there a lot of stinky people on the airplanes? Is that a thing?
Stinky people or, they let things go, if you get my drift.
Oh, no kidding.
Or they bring stinky food with them.
No kidding.
I've seen that, absolutely. I also feel like, think back when traveling, people used to really get dressed up. And we really, I feel like, gone away from that. So I still like to get dressed up, to fly, because usually I'm really excited about, wherever my destination is. And then I am always ready to come home. So I'm with you on that, Rob.
Now, when you say dressed up, are you meaning like I like to put on clothes without holes in them, or are you talking like I'm going to the Kentucky Derby?
Well, I'm not wearing gloves or anything, but I do like to put some effort. I'm just not going to roll out of bed in my pajamas and, because I've seen that, I swear.
Susan strikes me as the type of person who has travel clothes that are different from any other outfit.
Yes, that's probably.
Well,
Yep.
Oh, we got time for one more travel etiquette tip, Susan. Go.
Okay, so just, if you are going to be somebody that needs to get up and down, and I actually need to on a flight just for medical reasons, and so if you know that, then don't choose the middle seat or the window seat. Choose the aisle, just so you're not constantly interrupting those that are sitting next to you.
There you go. Tell us about your very fabulous website and Facebook page, Belle of the Midwest.
Well, this year, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to travel for spring break because session will still be happening, but we are hoping to go somewhere for fall break. So I'd love to hear from you. So if you've got any suggestions, send me a message to my website. Also, if you have any etiquette questions, and then while you're there, check out some of my blogs on social etiquette tips that can help you.
Belle of the Midwest, BELLE of the Midwest.com and Facebook. Susan Beckwith, thank you.
You guys have an awesome weekend.
Yeah, you too. She makes me want to travel now. I feel like I need to go somewhere, Rob.
Well, that's all you ever do is go places. Like it seems like every other week you're going somewhere.
Right. Well, and it's Friday, so you never know where I'll end up this weekend.
Right now we have to go to a commercial break.
It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Best decision I ever made was having Window Nation windows installed in my house, saving me a bunch of money on energy. My old windows were cracked and drafty and letting the air through. Window Nation came in and took care of all that within a day. And you know what? Window Nation windows are high quality and affordable. Right now, you can get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. And you can get 0 interest at 0 payments for 2 years. Pay nothing until 2027.
This is the deal you want. 2 windows for free with every 2 that you buy. Plus, 0 interest, 0 payments for 2 years. Pay nothing until 2027. Call a representative at Window Nation right now. They will walk you through the entire process. 866-90-NATION. Get that fast, free estimate right now with Window Nation. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Arrest warrants being served. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. At least 9 locations in Indianapolis have been raided this morning. The FBI, the DEA, and officers from Fishers and additional SWAT teams have been serving the arrest warrants, one of which is on Looking Glass Way in between 62nd and 75th Streets on Indy's northeast side. More than 24 pro-Palestinian activists are suing UCLA. They say their civil rights were violated. Here's their attorney, Thomas Harvey.
I don't believe that many people fully understand the extent of the violence that was inflicted upon them, both by the counter-protesters.
He says the protesters were deprived of their rights last year to assemble, speak, learn, and organize both freely and safely. And the Indiana gas average today, $3.19 a gallon, says Gas Buddy. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's dent season, the time of year Mother Nature decides to take out her aggression on your vehicle. Don't paint your car, go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. When Mother Nature throws a tantrum and messes up the look of your vehicle, don't paint your car, go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-335-2299. That's 800-335-2299.
My brother never checks on Dad. Or, my sister won't make time to take Mom to the doctor. Are these things you've heard yourself say? This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I have a caregiving tip for you. Stay tuned.
Cardon and Associates offers the finest senior living options tailored to your loved one's needs. Reservations are now being accepted for new apartments at Copper Trace in Westfield. Visit cardon.com.
Expressing anger or resentment toward unsupportive siblings can cause unmendable rifts in relationships. Don't try to control everyone else. You can only control yourself. The success of your caregiving journey does not rest on others. So enjoy the time with your loved one. This is your special time with them. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Turn down for what? There he is, is from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel show. Jason Hammer in the studio. Hello.
It's always a good morning when I can stop by, see my parents. It's my dad's birthday today, Stone Cold Steve Hammer.
Happy birthday, Steve.
And first thing my mom says to me, not, hi, how you doing? I love you. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
You look bloated. Like right out of the gate. Just right out of the gate.
I
you
don't,
look
I don't
bloated.
agree with that at all. I think you look fantastic.
Well, you're wearing it. You can't see it, but you're wearing a long sleeve shirt, and you normally don't wear long sleeve shirts.
Actually, I do, but they're more like hoodies or
Well, that's what
like-
I mean. Yes.
Like shoot around type
This is
shirts.
it's not a dress shirt, but it's a button-up shirt, and I almost never see you in a button-up t-shirt, or a button-up
It's not
style
big
shirt.
and billowy either.
Man, I'm working. We're working. We're hitting the weights a little
looking
bit.
good. Looking good.
I'd like to point out, it's very early on in the process, but I am beating Hammer in the bracket challenge, despite the fact that he belittled all of my bets and said I had no idea what I was doing. And I'd like to point out that even it is just day one, but I am winning.
Do you know the odds of picking a perfect bracket are 1 in 9.2 quintillion?
Quintillion.
Is that past trillion?
Yeah.
Feels like what our
times.
national debt's going to be at here very soon.
It's true.
But yes, Rob has a 1-game lead on me heading into the second half of the round one.
This is like the guy that goes out at 7:30 a.m. at the Masters, is some obscure guy and birdies the first hole. I'm leading the Masters. You're the only guy on the course.
Remember, Cub fans will appreciate this. Opening day a number of years ago, Carl Tuffy Rhodes hit 3 home runs.
Yes.
And everybody was like, oh my God, this guy is going to be the second coming of Babe Ruth. End of the year with like 12.
Yeah. He's been released.
Right. So, yes, Rob has a 1-game lead on me. And for those who might not have been around yesterday, this is the wager we have in place. Each of the first round games are with 1 point. Second round worth 2. And then so on and so on and so on. So it rewards you for getting the final 4 and the winner right. Whoever has the most points at the end, the loser has to send a tweet to the political person of the winner's choosing, and the winner gets to write the copy.
I love
So, like, I might say, let's say I won and Hammer lost. I might have Hammer send a tweet to Joe Hogsett that says, Dear Boss Hogsett, you've done a phenomenal job the past 10 years. I never should have insinuated you're a raging alcoholic who might have been in rehab during the riots. We know you definitely weren't there. And you being Thomas Carl Cook's wingman was a fabulous idea.
Looking forward to the 4th term.
Right. And I mentioned this on the show yesterday because you have way more enemies than I have.
Yeah, that's true.
And we let the listeners try to decide who it should go to. We have Governor Holcomb in the mix. Dear Governor Holcomb, this is Rob. I'm sorry.
I miss you.
I miss you. Maybe we could hang out and wear masks together. And
I think you getting this cushy board of directors job at this solar company is going to be great for the taxpayers of the state. Yes.
I'm willing to buy a lunch with both of us and Malik Mohammed. We had a listener suggest Todd Young.
Oh, yes.
Dear Duke of Spendingburg. Listen, I know you've done a lot of work in Washington, but the way you've added all those zeros takes guts. So something along those lines.
Yeah, and like you said, and boy, I'll tell you what, Hammer knows I get a bit over dramatic in my betting when things don't go out of the gate for me. I handle it better if I lose throughout the course of the game, but if it's bad in the beginning, I just get very upset. And St. John's, who I have going to the championship game, was down 7-0. You, me, Casey, and Kev could have formed a better alliance than the first 3 or 4 minutes of the St. John's game. And I was telling Amber, I knew it. I knew I should have bet on them. I felt it all day. These guys are going to lose. Then Hammer told me to get lost. So I started
something like that.
Started bombarding my dad with it after you wouldn't listen to me anymore. He sends me a message this morning. Don't you feel stupid for saying that about St. John's? I said, no, I'm trying to win the tournament.
Like, you got to play the game with the gambling gods, right? Like, that's why I used to yell at Rob all the time. If I had a good thing going and he'd send me a text, I'm like,
you're jinxing it.
I'm this close to driving to Brownsburg and beating the crap out of you.
So, but we had a pretty good day. I got 14 of 16 right. I think you got 13 of 16. That's pretty good.
Not bad. And from a betting perspective, not just picking the winners in a bracket, had a real good end of the night last night. lost the Tennessee bet. They won, but they didn't cover. But Michigan, I had to sweat that one out. We had the over in the late night game, so we did pretty well last night.
I felt bad because I fell asleep after the St. John's game, and then you just kept texting me, and I was like, man, I pulled a Nigel. Or it just disappeared from the chat.
I was talking to myself. It's like having Nigel in a text thread.
In fairness, I didn't make it till midnight, though, before it wasn't at 8.
You reply 3 hours later?
I thought about I woke up, and it was like 3:30 in the morning. I saw the text. I thought, I should pull a Nigel and just make a response back to this.
Something that's already been said and talked about. Hey, you guys should do a bet for your bracket.
Right.
Things that
Start weighing in.
Things that actually happened yesterday, Casey. We talked about it on your show, Nigel.
Right.
What do you? We got some guests that are coming in here. We got a big surprise. You might want to stay around. There's some food involved in this.
Oh man! Well, my mom says I'm already bloated. I might as well go big or go home, right?
What are you doing this afternoon on the #1 rated afternoon show in Central Indiana?
In studio, one Funky Todd Rokita, the Attorney General.
My friend.
We're going to talk about the DOE being dismantled. He's got thoughts on that. It's Beer Sample Friday. We're going to have some barguments today. Hammer and Nigel Records Madness. Let's do it, man. We are going to have a good time.
All right. Thank you, Hammer.
Well, I got to tell you who's coming up next.
Yeah,
right? We got a special guest. My dear friends, Jody and Andy Lorman, are going to be here. They own the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro in Brazil, they are a sponsor of our State House Happenings program. Great conservatives, awesome people. Andy's a retired state police officer, and they're going to they got a new season. They're only open April through December, and they've got this cool little cottage you can stay at in addition to their restaurant, and they're getting ready to open the restaurant again. They said, let's come see Uncle Rob.
Okay.
Are they bringing food?
They're bringing food.
I'm sticking around.
Yes. It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 3:06 this afternoon. Beer Sample Friday. We've got some barguments and the biggest stories in Indy. Let's talk, let's laugh, let's drink. 93 WIBC.
Hey guys, it's Rob. You know, it's Friday. That means Sunday's going to be here before you know it. And this Sunday, if you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home or just feeling called to something different, check out the place we call home, Life Church. We love Life Church. It's such a great sense of community there. They care about you. You're so much more than just a number. And many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church over the years. Oh, yeah, and they've got great online services as well. We love those, too. Campuses across Central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Check everything out for yourself on the web, lifechurchin.com.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Why do so many foundation, basement, and crawl space companies ask for half your money up front? Could it be because that's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they believe trust is earned, not demanded. That's why they do things differently. They start with a free inspection, no strings attached, to give you an honest assessment of what your home needs. No pressure, no surprises. When it's time for the work, they don't ask for a deposit or any upfront payment. Not a single dollar until the job is complete and you're 100% satisfied. That's how they've been earning trust for over 39 years. Whether it's sagging floors, moisture control, concrete repair, or a full crawl space encapsulation, you can count on Michaelis for repairs that last. Don't trust just anyone with your home. Choose the company that puts your trust first. Text or call 844-FIXED-INDY today. That's 844-FIXED-INDY. The Michaelis Corporation, building trust beneath your feet.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today. Today.
Bands are us when dreams don't get in. Bands are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
Bands are us when dreams don't get in. Bands are us.
What if the next time you painted your home was the last time you painted your home?
Our home has had Rhino Shield for 10 years.
Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIPC.com.
Casey.
Yeah, Rob.
I know this is hard to believe, but I do have some friends.
You have one? One or two?
Two.
Oh, yeah.
Two of them.
Two.
It's Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. We have very special guests in the WIBC studios. They Jody and Andy Lorman, and they own and run the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro in beautiful Brazil. And they are, as we've mentioned them many times, and many of I know our audience has come out to see you guys.
Yeah.
They are one of the fabulous sponsors of State House Happenings. Now, this is the place, this is the getaway. It is God's getaway in beautiful Brazil. It sits right on a body of water. You can eat there. They have a cottage. We'll talk about this in a second. But the cool thing about this place, they're only open April through December.
Okay, so it's almost time for them to be open.
It's almost time to open, and Jody and Andy are with us now. Now, Jody, I asked you this question because since you have an open date, right? You know what it's going to happen. Is it April 1st? Is that the day?
April 4th.
April 4th. Do you get, this time of year, do you get dread? Because it's not like it's a McDonald's where it's always open. You know when it's going to open, and everybody knows you in Brazil. It's like the community place to go. Is there super pressure to open a local restaurant like this?
Not as much anymore as what there used to be whenever, we were still kind of new. Before we would open when we were still kind of new, the week before I would have dreams beforehand that, oh my gosh, I forgot to buy groceries and we're supposed to open the doors in half an hour, those type of dreams. But I don't have those anymore.
Now, the cool thing about this place is, I think I can reveal this, right? That you guys live there.
We do.
You live. And I've lived at a radio station. This is much nicer than the radio station I lived at. But this is your whole life. Like you and Andy have dedicated your whole lives to this place.
Yeah. We have. And even like the office desk where we have to do, the paperwork of business is in our bedroom. Luckily, it's big. Our bedroom's big. So, we live right in it.
Talk about taking your work home with you.
Now, Andy is a retired state police officer.
That's right.
And you guys just said one day, we're going to create heaven on earth in Brazil, Indiana. How did you create the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro?
Well, actually, it was a high school dream because we're high school sweethearts. So this was something that we had talked about.
You've been with him since high school?
I know it. Since I was 15 years old. So over 40 years. It was. I don't look that old.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had you pegged at 29.
I know.
I figured 11 years was bad.
But so it just got to be the right point in life. And Andy was building this building for his wood shop.
Oh.
And I had worked in politics and I was ready to be done with that. And so I was like, what if I take a corner of the wood shop and do like a sandwich shop out of there? And he's like, around my sawdust? And I'm like, well, maybe not a corner, maybe a floor, because it's 3 floors. And so it eventually became the little bistro that we have moved out of. We moved the bistro, the restaurant part, into our house, and now the old bistro, which was supposed to be the wood shop, is the cottage where people can come and stay.
So you are a made-from-scratch boutique restaurant. Who's making it from scratch?
I am.
Is it you?
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of help. Andy has his specialties that he makes. He makes the breaded tenderloins, which we are breaded tenderloin people. And so we'll travel all around.
You have to be in Indiana.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So we're foodies ourselves. So we'll travel around. We have another couple that it's kind of our thing that we go and try out tenderloins.
That's just what you do for fun?
Yeah, because we're foodies. So anyway, Andy has made the best tenderloins that I have tasted. So I got to brag on him with that.
Our guests are Jody and Andy Lorman. They own and operate the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro in Brazil. Now, tell us about, because you guys have specialty hours, right?
Right.
And this is an experience. When you go to this place, this is not duck in and duck out. The whole thing is an experience. And we've heard from so many people that went and said, this is the greatest little secret that I've never heard about. Thanks for sharing about it. So tell us about what the experience there is like.
Okay. So I want it to feel like Sunday dinner at grandma's house, and so our plan is for you to take something home, because whenever you went to grandma's house for Sunday dinner, you always took food home.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our plan.
Is it family style? Do
No,
you serve family style?
No, we don't.
Okay.
They just give you a lot of stuff.
Gotcha.
But this is the deal. So our ordering system's a little bit different. You get the menu and then you check off on the menu. You write on the menu, and there's a place where you can make a note to the kitchen, and that's fun because then we get to know our regulars. Like if somebody comes in and they order something that has gluten, and I know that they're gluten-free because they're a regular, I'll go back out to them and I'm like, okay, I know you ordered this, but there's gluten in here. So that's fun, to have that connectability with our guests. But anyway, people are truly guests at our home. So we're open for dinners on Fridays and Saturdays, 5 to 8. The menu changes every week. So we do 3 featured entrees, and then we do 3 featured desserts. And if you can't decide, then we do a bites plate. So you can get all 3 of the featured entrees for dinner, and then we do a bites plate where you can have all 3 of the featured desserts.
We took a couple friends out there, and they were just
Wait.
Well,
I thought your only friends were here.
Well, that's true. Yeah. These people spend half their year in Florida, so that's how little they like being our friends. But they were just blown away. So I'm curious how much you guys have been impacted by the cost of stuff, because obviously it's like a local business. You have to be very aware of what you're charging and who your customer base is. And I'm curious how inflation has affected how a local restaurant runs.
I think that we're luckier than most people because our menu changes each week, and our meat guy, we get our meat from Myers Market, which is another local owned shop in Greencastle. And Mitch, the owner there, shout out to Mitch. He keeps me informed. He'll say, hey, you know what? Pork loin's going on sale next week, or the price of prime ribs coming down. And so that helps us to keep our costs. We have not raised our dessert cost since we opened in 2017. We're very mindful. We're very mindful of that. Now, some things we've had to raise the price on, 50 cents or something, but nothing super outlandish.
And that probably directs your menu then.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. Mm-hmm.
Casey, if you're nice to me
Yeah.
over the next month or so,
Mhm.
I might let you come with us to the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro. Gabrielle and I are going to go some weekend, and if you're very nice, we'll let you tag along with us.
It's like a double date.
It'll give you some. I didn't say Jim could come yet.
Oh.
He's still got. Look.
I'm pushing it.
So tell us about the hours, because you have very specific hours. This is not you can just drop in at 9 a.m. and
Right.
you gotta know when the hours are.
Right. So it's 5 to 8 Fridays and Saturdays for dinner, and then the Sunday brunch buffet is 11 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So you can live a life.
What about? Do you need like reservation, or is it just walk in?
You can make reservations. That's kind of handy for us, but we don't require it, because I feel like there's two types of people in the world. There's the planners that like to make reservations, and then there's the fly by the seat of your pants
That's
people,
Casey.
and that's me too.
She
me
just
too.
likes to show up. I was like, Casey, you cannot go to show up to the Super Bowl. They're not going to let you in. She's like, it'll be fine.
No, it'll be good.
All right, you brought it. What did you bring?
So we brought you some Mandarin chicken salad. Of course, it's got honey in there because
Yeah.
Andy's a beekeeper. So about a third of our recipes have honey in them.
You have the bees there on the property.
We
right?
do. So you can see them.
So Andy goes and makes something fabulous in his shop, and then he just goes and extracts honey from the bees.
That's awesome.
Right. And then he'll make some breaded tenderloin. So he's the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
So we brought that. We brought some Dolly's potato salad,
Oh,
which is an
yeah.
old family recipe of ours, of my family's. We brought some honey oat bread and a white wedding cake, and then a salad so you could try our honey house dressing and our poppy seed dressing.
You mentioned wedding cake. What about special parties or events?
We-
Is that a thing
yes,
you guys do?
yeah, we
It
do.
sounds like that sort of establishment.
Right. So what we do, you can do an event at our place when we're not open to the public, unless your group is small enough, you can be in one of our private rooms, because we've taken both of our daughters' bedrooms and have made those private rooms.
I want to real quick. We have about 10 seconds. Where can people find you? Where do they find you?
Okay, you can find us on the website at honeysucklehillbee.com. That's the best place to find out everything. Bistro.
Honeysuckle Hill Bistro, our fabulous Statehouse Happening sponsor, that award-winning program. It's because of them that you can listen to it.
Jody and Andy, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank
we
you,
appreciate
guys.
it. And thank you for sponsoring his show. I know he likes that too. Yeah. All right, it's time for us to go home. Eat and then go home. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for listening today. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place is a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
From a fast break to recovery, Indiana hospitals are here for every Hoosier, regardless of their ability to pay. That's why we're teaming up with legislators on a winning playbook to lower costs and protect access to care across our communities. Because good policy doesn't leave anyone on the sidelines. Learn more at HoosierLifeline.com.
Paid for by the Indiana Hospital Association.
Welcome
to Tire Discounters.
Thanks. I gotta warn you, I drive a hard bargain.
Okay.
So let's hear your first offer.
Well, how about,
Yeah.
with any 4-tire purchase,
Yeah.
we'll give you a free alignment.
Man, I'm good. All right, let's do it before you change your mind.
And we'll also give you a free oil change.
Ha! I can't believe I talked you into this deal. Sometimes I amaze even myself.
Don't tell accounting. But with any 4-tire purchase at Tire Discounters, you get a free alignment and a free full synthetic oil change. See store for details.
JMV here for Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden Nursery. Stock is arriving daily, and both locations are filling up. Come shop early and save 20% off all container trees and shrubs in stock now at both Sundown Gardens in Westfield and Miss M's Home and Garden in Bargersville. Their gift shops are full of spring color, too. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield. Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135, just south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville. Stop in and see them this week.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Looking for a great deal on a new Lincoln? Come to Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, now $15,000 off, and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. We look forward to seeing you at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 57,785. Offers good through March 31st, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
Construction costs are up anywhere between 25 to 50%.
During a traffic stop in Salem.
Many of these small businesses would not be able to offer the benefits.
Sometimes what gets missed is how good our guys are.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
Both local police and the feds are involved. Right now, you got a mostly sunny sky. It is 41 degrees in downtown Indy. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. 9 places across Indianapolis raided this morning, and several arrests have happened. A home was also raided in Lawrence. The FBI in Indianapolis says this is all related to drugs. More details at WIBC.com. Also arrested 2 kids because police in Indianapolis say they were both responsible for vandalism that happened at the Friendship Missionary Baptist Church in the Hawville neighborhood this week. One was a boy, the other was a girl. Police say the girl was found on Thursday and charged with vandalism, battery on a public safety officer, and resisting law enforcement. The boy was taken into custody not long after her in Brownsburg on vandalism charges. Some Indianapolis leaders want to see a new skyscraper go up connecting to the old City Hall. Ryan Hedrick reports.
And if you're asking yourself how they're going to pay for that, the answer is that the city wants to loan a developer $66 million, which they say would be paid back over 10 years.
Construction costs are up anywhere between 25 to 50%.
That's Jay Smith from TWG, the developer that wants to do business with Indianapolis.
Each of those has their interest rates, different financial market conditions, have an ability on what amount of debt that we can go get.
And some city leaders say Indianapolis is spending too much money to fix downtown up. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC. Mobile News.
An inmate from the Edinburgh Correctional Facility was found after Jackson County leaders say he escaped from his work detail. Jake McDaniel reports.
Officers say they spotted Michael Anderson during a traffic stop in Salem. As Anderson was being pulled over, he ran off, but officers quickly got him. Anderson was then arrested. He was facing 3 years in prison for burglary, but he could face several more criminal charges. Officers are looking into this. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Trump tax cuts, which were passed during his first term, are set to expire at the end of this year. Republicans, though, are pushing for an extension that they say is needed to help small businesses.
Many of these small businesses would not be able to offer the benefits that they're able to offer.
Texas Senator John Cornyn spoke about the need during a visit to a restaurant in Austin this week. He says the president's tax plan will help those businesses during an increasingly competitive